Hello, welcome everyone. My name is Chris Farah, and this is the YouTube of YouTubes, the one and only, honey, where we are talking tonight about 90 Day Fiancé. We are in season 9. This was episode 11 in a regular old 90 Day. I'm going to take a little time as we get people in the room. I did not do a good job of giving people a heads up. Also, so sorry, my loves. I actually really wanted to show off my new mic, and I realized that means I have to talk into it. Are you hearing how I'm trying to give you better audio? So I love you guys so much. Please come in and like the video as you enter any room. One would, just go ahead and put up a thumbs up. You know how it is. I need the engagement. Okay, so hi, I'm so happy to see people. It's going to be a good one. Even though this episode and this whole season isn't the greatest. Let's be honest, I've already said it. It's just that, and again, you came off such a hot last season of Before the 90 Days. It was hot. It was dramatic and it was intense for us. So yeah, maybe in a comparison it feels less dramatic or whatever, and it also feels maybe not as authentic. um I'm happy to see peeps in the room. Tell me if you really hear an upgrade audio wise. That's Wa right there. If you haven't seen her recap, she went ahead and did a live of this same episode maybe like 3 hours ago. So if you want more content, you always have it at you. It's talking into a microphone also already makes me want to pretend that I'm on like Coast 103. You know what I'm saying? It really sounds like Coast 103.5, The Wave. We have a special request from Terry to Marvin. Yes, Terry wanted to tell you, Marvin, that she always finds you in the smallest pocket of her heart when she's looking for that piece that she needs to keep going, Marvin. That's you. So here is Chris Isaac's Wicked Game. You know. Honey, I do love that Chris Isaac. Okay, so listen, anything to not talk about this episode. Okay, I'm so sorry, but we're gonna do it. We're doing it. Don't worry. Like, I'm not gonna talk about this episode. Okay, I love you guys. So let's get into. Oh, I have a super chat, and I was just too busy doing my thing. Melody, I'm watching the episode now, but I want to say hi, and I'll be back for the replay. Yes, Melody. Yes, honey, that is a brand new avatar. God, that's so hot, Melody. Thank you so much for this super chat. I wish I would love to see you. I would love to hear your opinions. You really have good ones. Okay. I'm like, next time just text me I need to do a poll and just have be this is what I'm gonna do. I might start doing a poll and just being like, have y'all watched the episode yet? And then just trying to see if people have, because I want your opinion. But thank you so much, Melanie. That's so nice. Here's Wall saying, Before 90 Days is so much better than 90 Days and Happily Ever After. Literally anything is better than Happily Ever After. I hate Happily Ever After. Ah, God. I forgot to watch 90 Day yesterday because I had a date. Okay. Well, you definitely have to tell us about that. Yeah, I'm putting myself out there in the world, and it feels interesting because I'm really trying to focus on energetically how I am doing in comparison to some of the behavior choices I've made before. So I think Wa already knows this. We talk all the time. But like, one thing is, like, I'm trying to really sit in a state of receiving and being conscious of what I react to, and not trying to, when I say it being in a state of receiving, for me, not trying to hyper analyze or control or manipulate situations or want things to happen, but instead taking tire pressure off of me at all and just be like, I'm here, I'm open, I give energy out there. I give back when I get energy back. I'm not I am not tethered to one source. I am moving through it through my own sources. Anyway, I think it's really, really great for people who are dating right now because I think that after the pandemic and everything closed, I think that people got to do a lot of self reflection. And so inner work was done because people just sat around and thought about all the mistakes they made, as well as the ones that were single and the ones that weren't happy in relationships got out of the relationships, and the ones that were single are single, we're single. So I think it's a great time to be dating right now because I think you have people who are open to the possibility of love in a different way. That's a kind of sustaining love, the kind of love that will sit on a couch with you for 2 years through whatever 20 or 30 pounds might happen. So having said that, I feel really good about it. Okay, now we can focus on the dumpster fire tonight. Hi. Yep. Okay. Totally agree, Chris. Some people are now adjusting their priorities, honey, and their profiles. Okay, so dating profile, honey, time to update. So I'm going to start with a couple I, again, don't care about, and that's going to be Ari and Benny. Ari and Benny, honey. So let me tell you, big dramatic moment of last episode was, Benny really putting on a show. I will say that on the years in which we've watched this series, we have seen many people display their talents, shall we say. From that one girl that was a singer that went on American Idol who could sing, and her music wasn't the funnest on the actual show, but when she was on American Idol, she actually could sing. I was like, okay, great. I'm talking about curly haired girl. And then various music artists we've had that are bad, horrible, like Tariq, so many people, like Darcy and Stacy, we've seen people try and show us what they can do, Black Serbs, take it what you will. So Benny showed us his dream. He's like, he loves honey wrestling. He loves it. And he wants it to be his career. And if we're going to talk about someone who is trained and ascertain a certain skill, then I'm going to give it to him that this man's show put on a great performance. That is how you do it. I'm just saying, I'm not the greatest wrestler expert. And so, but to me, it very much looked like Benny dominated that man in no bar flat. Benny got that man. I have eyes. Looked great. A great job. And then he jumped off the thing. If I was in that ring, I'd be like, that man's great. That person can fight, So having said all that, in this episode, all that's gone. New day. And Ari's whole thing is now that that's over, I really want you to focus on me and your baby, but also make money. Because I can't make money, but also we have to move out of this 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom, but no, we won't. So then we get her boring ass ex from from the last season, who comes in and is supposed to make Benny jealous. And I feel like I sense the producers sort of letting us have this moment with her ex because he had the moment with Melissa. So we have to fight jealousy over jealousy. How am I doing, my loves? When was this? Laura, am I still frozen? Do people see me? Are people? I was having some Wi-Fi issues too when I was watching Waz. Waz streaming. I couldn't tell if my streaming was having issues, and I couldn't see her very well if hers was. So I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, my loves, if you're having some issues. Okay, if I'm having issues. So anyway, she goes to meet her ex, and she's wearing this super cute outfit. It's like a plaid hoodie. Listen, you might not think it's cute. I don't think it's cute. Kind of midriff sweatshirt, matching set with a skirt. It kind of looked a little bit like Cher from Clueless, that kind of skirt top set because it's flannel and a lighter color, but instead, of course, that schoolgirl kind of look. It was, yeah, like a sweatshirt, short, kind of tight bodycon thing. I mean, listen, I don't know where she got it, but it was a choice that I was not expecting for her. And that coupled with, again, her very cute workout set when she came and got mad at Melissa. And that coupled also with, I think, her really great choice for her wrestling outfit. And people were mad at her wrestling extravaganza look. But to me, again, not an expert, but like, isn't that what you do? Like, if you go to a wrestling match and your man's up there, or your partner's up there, like, don't you like go to the match? Wrestlers themselves like dress all up. It's all like a scene, right? Like, I think you have to. Also, I think wrestling or like boxing or I don't know, any of these contact sports, they're kind of like, they have like an air, kind of like that Vegas thing or that Atlantic City thing. Like, well, first of all, also, again, an era person, me, you don't have to like talk me into sequence. You're not like, it isn't like I have to be like, sequence, what? Give me a time and a place, maybe. No, like, if there are sequence, like, unless it's a funeral. And I hate to tell you, if the person was all fabulous, I think that that person would enjoy a black sequence like jacket. Anyway, I have a black sequence jacket and it's fabulous. And I think that if I were to wear it to your funeral and you were dead, and I'm so sorry, in this situation, you're the one that's dead and I'm the one that's alive. I'm going to your funeral though, so be happy about that. I feel like if you're hearing this and I came to your funeral wearing a black sequins like blazer jacket, you'd love it. Okay. Anyway, so I like that green, sequence thing, blah blah blue. I think that she has some great fashion choices. And why am I talking so much about this? Because what it's there to talk about. I'll tell you what else. Like, it's like it's so boring and like inauthentic. Like, they have a conversation. I mean, when they like, oh well, I'm like gonna always be there for you. And how are you doing? And she again says like, oh, I don't even know if I'd marry him if I didn't have a kid. And so we have to like sit through that and be like, well, then you shouldn't marry him. Okay, so like blah blah blue, and then this part's the boring part. That's why I will talk about sequence. So then they go to like a long dinner, with her family and him, Leandro, and like whatever his name is, and Benny, honey, God bless, and like, because they're all part of the family and they spend so much time together, they all have to be together, I guess. And I guess in my mind, it's like he has to be around your ex all the time, like that used to bone, and he can't just like sometimes wrestle that Melissa, who's like a professional wrestler, just to like warm up a little bit. It's not that bad. He has like no friends. God. Anyway, so at the center, honey, they're eating Ethiopian food, okay? And oh my God, look at Wa. And also, Wa and I went, and I've talked about this before, to eat Ethiopian food. And they had the same injera bread that we had. And it's just like that. It's like a little like smorgasbord and of tasty segregated dips and different couscous, like different, not dips. Some are dips, some are pilafs and stuff. Some are like, well, any sort of like warm dish. On one big plate, honey. And it looks to me, it's beautiful because when you see it, it almost looks like an artist's palette. Like if I just had a big, beautiful artist palette and like different, like I was like, I used a little bit like blob of like, some dusty pink. And, I was like, here is some like terracotta. And here is like some, you saw all those like beautiful colors and it was just looking, I was making a big thing that gets served in front of you and it all tastes good. It's like different textures and flavor profiles. And you get to be like, now, the weird thing for me is that I just would rather do what I just said to you using like a spoon or a fork, because traditionally, yes, you're supposed to use this kind of like gray, spongy vehicle that looks like bread that's kind of like whatever, right into your mouth. And I don't like the texture of it. I just don't like the texture of that bread. It's not bread, it's the vehicle, the moving vehicle. Yeah, I'd rather walk. Just kidding. I don't know what to tell you. I'd rather just like take the subway being that spoon, honey. I just can't, I don't like it. But it's so fun because I don't know. I'm someone who gets bored. I like a bite of this and being like, meh, what's happening over there? Oh, and then just being like, oh, great. Oh yeah, but what's happening over there? Oh yeah, the grass is always greener. So I like having a bunch of different things and just like bouncing between them like a little ping pong. Um, or a pickleball if you guys are into pickleball. For some reason, pickleball is taking over the world. Okay. So my loves. Oh, hi Lisa. I haven't looked down in so long. Just like a small group tonight, just having a little intimate talk. If Wall wants to come on or Lisa, listen, anyone wants to come on, we can talk about that. Wall just has people on all the time. I would get scared of like just bringing someone on, I think, without like having like done a Zoom first with them. Just so I know how to like facilitate the control of the situation. I don't know what that means. I'd be like, oh, I hope this person likes lives. I don't know. Um, yeah. Hi. So happy you guys are here. Okay, baby boos. So I don't have to tell you about that. At the dinner, the big thing that happens that they're like we're supposed to like, have a hoopla over is that they're going to go dress shopping for, Ari, and she wants to go with like her ex-husband. And Benny's like, no. And Benny like says over and over and again that he doesn't trust Leandra. Like he wants his wife, like he wants Ari back. And he's like, yeah, what's he gonna do? Like go to the dress shop and just like look at her body? Is he gonna like go into like the dressing room area and like climb underneath? I don't know, honey, the like drape. And would that be the moment, like just to be like, boinga, boinga, like in front of like her mom and stuff like that? I just think is like, what is the big fear? Like that he's gonna go see Ari in a dress and then be like, "Oh, I'm just kidding. Wait, please marry me again. Me. Just can't marry him." And he like takes them all hostage in the bridal gown store. Like what is such an interesting fear. Now having the other side being like, is it weird that she wants to take her ex-husband, yeah, to go dress shopping? Absolutely. Yes, it's weird because she has a whole mom and a sister, and what I think would be like other female friends. You tell me. I mean, only because she's just so adamant about what's respectful to her and what's not, and this part isn't. It feels like she uses this whole relationship against him in some way, but it also feels like the producers just use this against us as giving us like some discourse topic, some reason to fodder on, I used the word fodder today with someone. And they were like, "What's that word?" They're like, "What? Fodder?" Or like they were like, "What do you say? What'd you say?" And I was like, "Fodder." And it's a weird word to say. They were like, "Oh." And I was like, "Yeah, like fodder." By the way, if anyone wants to talk about my eyebrows, you can do so at the end of the show. But if you've been sitting there being like, "What looks so bushy and youthful about our Chris?" It's the eyebrows. She laminated them. They're like stick straight permed and glued to her brow bone to give off this bushy appeal. Isn't that so crazy? This is kind of like what Miona is trying to do, but she's doing it with makeup. So she wants to give this effect, but also her eyebrow isn't as long as mine. It probably like I feel like it ends like it'd be like if it ended right there. Like should my eyebrow end right there? Is my eyebrow long? Probably. I don't know why they're so long. Um What is your favorite uncommon or rarely used word? Which is a great question. You guys tell me. I know Wah has a bunch. I love I don't know if this is rarely used, but I often use the word juxtaposed. Like I love circumspect, extrapolated, myriad, multitude. These are not really are these like uncommon? It's more like highfalutin words. I would say something that's old-timey that I've been using that people don't know what to do with me when I say it is smarts for when something hurts. I have like I don't know, on occasion, I recently I have been like, "Oh, that smarts. Oh, my toe smarts." And people have been like, "I'm sorry, what?" And I'd be like, "It smarts." And they're like, probably like a little upset at me, you know. Also, like, are they upset that they were supposed to give a comment or not? Like that they even have to like consider this that a word they have to hear to mean hurt or painful. I'm not loving the new mic, or is it that it's too close? Maybe. This is a whole thing for me. So yeah, maybe I'm a little too close. Also, there's different gadgets. This is the Yeti. So you guys tell me what you think the blue Yeti. I mean different gadgets. There's different dials. So who knows like what one does over another, but I really feel like I was getting super close. Okay. So yeah, she should be more respectful. She should have other people. Why don't she have more female friends? Those are the questions we want answered. Okay, let's move on to Yvette and Mohammed. You know what was interesting about this episode? And I've thought about this for the past 20 minutes. And so there's a chance I'm still wrong about this. And I need you guys to tell me if I'm right. We had all the couples. We had all the couples, right? We saw all of them, right? We had a little Ethiopian artist palette smorgasbord taste of each couple. And you know what is the Anjara that I'm not enjoying, by the way? Have you guys noticed that it feels like they have added or changed their music person? The songs that they are putting in for some of the transitions, like they had the transition song into Ari going to the lunch with Leandro, and she had this like horrible intro song when they were like, just trying to think of the problems I'm having and going through the problems in my mind or something like, I don't know, honey, then like it's her walking. And I just feel like it's so on the nose. I hate the music. It's made for like $2. Also, can make me the music person that can just like sing the songs and transitions. I'll just literally improv like what I think should happen when their minds are happening, like some sort of like weird inner monologue, like sent a song every time they do one of those B-roll transition shots. And I feel like I would get paid like the same amount and would be rich for the rest of my life. And I feel like everyone would enjoy it more. Um Sounds the same with or without the mic. So funny. Okay, yes, Missy, he was. Oh yeah, so she got him the green card. So yeah, that's the Yvette Mohammed situation. So let's talk about Yvette and Mohammed. So, Mohammed likes to work out, and Yvette likes to wear bikinis, stands by them. So they get their butt to what looks like an LA Fitness, my loves, and she's going to sign them up. Now, what we know for anyone that's been inside those very corporate gyms is that the minute that someone says that she has someone that's going to sign up there, what we don't see is, honey, the whole like rigmarole sales pitch, honey. You know that Muhammad had to go sit one of the like weird box, rooms in the like office area off to the side where like sometimes like guys like drop their weights, and it's like someone sitting down with multiple packages trying to sell Muhammad on like probably some personal training things. And he's like, no, I'm a personal trainer, and they're like, okay, whatever, God bless, but that's what happens there. And it's such a nightmare. Oh my God. If you tell me what like my personal ideal of hell is, one of the ideas is like being made to like sit through sales pitches at 24-hour fitness. 24-hour fitness. Um, uh, that's so funny. I can't wait to bring this up too. Okay, so at first they're gonna like lift some weights, and she's wearing pants, and like a workout tank top and like a workout jacket, and Yvette's body is like banging, and she like Yvette's body's banging, and she has, for some reason, I think, one of the most improvable wardrobes I've seen for a woman. I can only think, honey, that these pants that she bought, these workout pants, she bought online. They're like from China, and she's washed them in hot water 1 billion times. They are so ill fitting and somewhat falling off her, but not giving her the coverage that would be great. Like, and she doesn't really need coverage, but like, I don't understand how bad these yoga pants were. I mean, these workout pants, like, I am telling you, it's because of this, is why I say this. Workout pants are made to do the Lord's work. They cover a multitude of sins. Do you understand me? Workout pants are compressive garments things, and her body be banging. So the fact that it was like rolling off and like stuff, and I was just like, oh girl, like I think that, yeah, I think these are just like unfortunately cheap ones that like either are just not the same size, or they're like, like too big, and have been washed, and they're like stretched out. But I like, oh my God, I just like so badly. And I was like, oh, I don't know what it is, honey. Like, I haven't tried the Lularoe, but like anything would be better than this. I mean, even like going back to like, oh no, what was his name? With the guy from before the 90 days that had the woman that was smaller, and she got kicked off the show and he wore all those leggings. Anyway, I don't know, honey. I'm making another joke. Like, she can get in touch with Mary from Sister Wives. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, some better options would be like Outdoor Voices or Beyond Yoga. I mean, that woman will be look banging in like some sort of like booty situation. I can't believe what I saw. Anyway, so then after that, she takes off her jacket and she's wearing like a tank top. And what looks like, and I swear to God, it's like a spaghetti strap tank top, spaghetti strap, and a normal bra. It is a normal bra because she's wearing a spaghetti strap. There is no such thing as a sports bra that has what looked like the straps with that I saw. And the thing, like, okay, I know that there's sports bras that have spaghetti straps. I saw the straps, and they're the exact fabric that is not ever workout sports bras. But in fact, it's Caleb. It was Caleb. But in fact, normal bras. Okay. So up and down, like I just feel like this girl, like she has these friends in her life, you know what I'm saying, and all of these like women in her life that like like make it seem like like they're helping her in her life, and like making it seem like they're a good squad for her, and I don't think that to be the case. Why is she wearing a normal bra to the gym? Okay, so then she takes off of her like jacket, and we immediately know that like it's not the greatest for Muhammad. Totally normal and chill for American culture. Now she's like, Muhammad, am I looking okay? Are you okay with this? Now here's the thing. No, I know that. You know that. Muhammad's like, yes. I can't do that accent. Yes. I can't do it. Muhammad's immediately in confessional, like, I did not like Yvette's choice, but I cannot always fight. Which I get it. He's like there to work out. Also, can you imagine? He did probably sit through a sales pitch. So, like, he already had, like, this is like, he's just starting his workout, honey, but like he's been at that gym for like probably like an hour and a half, so he's like, oh, got over, just like sit down. I think here's like 40 pounds, like start pushing. She's like, I don't know about, well, it depends. It's interesting how different weights feel depending on what you're doing. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I can't do anything, and sometimes I can do more. It just depends on how you're holding it and like what muscles are doing it. I think if you're sitting, okay, so if you're sitting and you're pushing out like this, that's easier than like, have you ever done the ones out where you have to do the ones that are like open up like that? Oh, I can hardly do that. I can hardly do that with any weight on. If I'm doing that one with the machine sitting like that, I get crazy like neck, like I'm like, like that happens to me. Like I don't understand. But if I'm just sitting there and going this way, like a little like press, I feel like I could push like, yeah, I could do 40 pounds. I mean, I can do like 90 pounds with my legs. I am very strong, leg wise. I'm one of those girls that like, are people that, if I need to move something, like I'll get down on my butt and just like push things with my legs. Okay. So yeah. So after that, she's like, I hate this so much. And then they get on the treadmill, honey, and he's like, okay, so I'm a personal trainer, and I'm trying to like see if I can get some work here, by A, getting you in shape, and also B, like showing off that I know how to like get people doing things here. And so he's like, the way that you work out is you have to like run for 15 minutes and like, walk for 15 minutes. And I'll tell you, Yvette is not into Muhammad telling her anything in her life, especially know how to do hit training. She's like, I know how to do it. And by the way, I'm not going to do it. So right now, we're just talking. Also, there's cameras on us. Do you think, Muhammad, that I'm just going to have you like, and this camera just like breathe down my neck while I'm like full throttle jogging? Ugh. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this. I started doing Orange Theory because Orange Theory is like, for some reason, a situation that I have access to by means of people doing that in my life, and therefore it'll make me go. Um, and if you ever done Orange Theory, which I feel like might be kind of like Barry's boot camp, and you can tell me if you've done both, is that you switch back and forth between cardio sections and weightlifting sections. And so for Orange Theory, the cardio sections happen on a rowing machine and a treadmill. And when you're on the treadmill, you're like a power walker, a jogger, or a runner. And it has this little like uh whatever like graph. You're like, if you're a power walker, like you're supposed to like, do 3.5 or like three is like 3.5 to like 4.0, or I don't know, 3.0 to 4.0, and then incline like 5%. You're supposed to like go in between. Well, why am I bringing this up? I hate it. Oh my God. There's nothing worse, honey, than just having to cardio run it. I mean, oh my God. Sometimes it's okay, and sometimes it's a nightmare. And the only thing, uh, that's very funny. Anyways, um, I would not be able to like have any sort of relationship conversation with anyone. And I especially wouldn't want to do it on camera. And especially if it was something incredibly important, and especially if it was obvious to everyone, including me, that for somehow we never have talked about any important topics this entire time, especially when we had all the comforts in the world, like not being on treadmills. So now I guess since we're deciding to finally talk for the first time, she wants to like breathe while doing so. I don't blame her. Okay. Their conversation is over kids, whether she wants to have kids, um, whether he wants to have kids, and we're like, oh, what a great conversation to. Is this the first time you're having it? Hmm. She wants to have kids with him because she thinks that he'd be a great dad. Does he think that she'd be a great mom? Why does she think that he'd be a great dad? It feels like just because she has seen him with her son. I I feel like they are as immature in their relationship, and as like in kind of like a not realistic world as much as Patrick and Thais, where I'm like but and the problem is, and the challenge is, I have to get over the fact that I like Yvette is seasoned. So um they in this conversation also bring up the topic of religion, since it permeates almost every choice and the way that they both live their lives, because there are certain values and ways in which one is to be raised. Now, we in America um, are having a lot of discourse right now on the political landscape because of religion. And certain views of certain religions dictate certain behaviors. and how we want to live in comparison to the religious dictation of, well, let's just say Christianity in this case, because even though this country was based on religious freedom, it certainly feels like our national religion is Christianity. I can't imagine anyone could argue there'd be any other religion possible. So to me, watching this, anything like that he would want to be Muslim or raise his kids Muslim is not even weird. Or it's like literally this whole country is trying to raise this whole country one religion. So yeah, this man probably wants to raise his son Muslim, and she has some issues with that. And I do not understand how she could be so confused. I'm going to bring up to the stage this person named Wa. And you know her, and I love her. And she bought me eyeliner, which is so sweet. And this is not the eyeliner, but I will try and give her even Miona E more looks in appreciation for her eyeliner bought. Now, put your hands together and then also give this video a thumbs up for Wahimalino.
Hi. No makeup on, a complete 180 from the live you saw from me earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
Casual, intimate Wa. This is the Wa that I know.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. So we this is I'm just like I want to bring this up. He is such a hypocrite because living in sin is an absolute number one no in Islam. He's picking and choosing which part he follows. I I completely agree. I think that across the board we have seen men use religion to abide the rules they want to abide by and then somehow also not abide by those rules themselves. That's just the beauty of it. And by beauty I mean terror. Wow.
I mean, they all do it though, right? Every religion has the person
Even.
who feels, yeah, who feels like what they're doing and they know is wrong, but they've squared it all away. They've squared it up with God, and God knows that they're sinning, but going forward, there will be no more sin. And I'll make it up by ensuring you have another disciple, i.e., my progeny.
Yeah, that's true. To me, I guess, when will Yvette realize um, that Muhammad is Muslim and what that means? And how I mean, I just don't understand. When will you think she'll figure that one out?
I don't until he like fully tells her these are the things you need to change. And even then I think she would be like, "But you weren't like this when we first met." She made a comment in this episode saying that she wants to get back to their romantic let me find it because I wrote it down. Here's the truth. I did this episode and then I completely was like, they were in the gym. He said he wants his kids to be Muslim, and then I moved on. So I didn't even mention the fact that she asked him about her outfit after they already got there, not before they left, just to
Yeah.
like drill in that he's whatever.
Wait, while you saw
And
the fact that she was wearing a normal bra, and why did she wear that bra? And also were those pants ill fitting?
also, yes, and yes. But also, here's the truth: she had no intentions of actually working out. When he says what you have to do is run, what you need to do is run for maybe like 15 seconds. And she's like, "Oh, okay. Well, next time, because I won't be doing any running today," is what she said to him. What does she say? She says, I signed up for the gym because I want to get back the connection and romance. That is when I knew that this seasoned individual was not moving through the space using all of her cylinders.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Mm-hmm.
married now. I mean, you're going to be married. This person is here. This person takes care of your child when you're not there. What romance? What connection? You mean vacation romance and vacation connection? Oh,
Yeah. It's very Patrick and yeah, I think, well, or yeah, it's anyone who's had, yeah, they just were banging all the time in Egypt. So she literally was like, I don't understand how you're religious at all. Like all we did is bang. And it's like this is also what happened. I think that Muhammad does not understand how not knowing of Islam most Americans are. Like he's like, I told you I'm Islamic, you know, and she's like, because I think that in his mind, he's like, I told you that, therefore you should know ABCDEF, you know, the the whole, you
Elemental
know,
P. Elemental P. Yeah, he should. Yeah.
yeah. And she's like, oh no, you told me you're a Muslim and you knew I was American, so you should know that I just was like, oh great, and then didn't know anything about what that meant, and definitely thought that had no bearing on me.
Yeah, and you
And
needed to tell me what that mean. Yeah.
he was like, oh no, me telling you I was Muslim meant that you were going to be with a Muslim man, and therefore you had to live with a Muslim man in the way that a Muslim man would like to live. And you said yes. You brought me out. Like I think it's that kind of thing. Which listen, both of them are so out of their mind, not aligned, that it's like they both speak a completely truly different language, where it's like she's like, yeah, but I'm American, he's like, yeah, but I'm Muslim, and that all that means is they both don't understand how the other doesn't understand who they are. And it's like,
Yeah.
because you both don't
I
understand each
wish
other.
I wish that she would like stop saying it's because I'm American. It's not because you're American. Americans have access to Google. Americans do research to figure out the religion of their partner. American asks those kinds of questions. Um, she did not. It's not because she's American. It's because she's willingly ignorant. And it's why doesn't she also say I'm native? And in my culture, my religion is the spirituality or like whatever she needs to do. And like she tried to be like, oh, it's yoga. And I was like, yoga's not a religion. What are you talking
I
about?
hated that. I hate. Okay, so yeah, let's get into the nitty gritty of this conversation. This is the worst part. So he basically is like, I will be going, to mosque. My son will go to mosque with me. From the age of birth to the age of, let's just say, when this person's around 18, but he says adulthood, but let's just say 18, this person will be raised Muslim. I am Muslim. I will take him. It'll be my duty, my work to teach him about this religion, to bring him to the mosque, and he will be, yes, that's how I was raised. My father, it means like to me. And she's like, but what if he likes to do yoga? And we're like, he can do both. But then she's like, but what if when you want him to go to mosque, he sees that I'm doing yoga in the same moment and is like, I'd rather stay with mom. And then I think, and we're all like, well, at that moment, you'd be like, you're going to go to mosque with your dad, and then later on, you can do yoga with us. But Yvette wants Muhammad to say is, well, then he would have his choice at 8 or 9 to do that. And he's like, no, kids don't have a choice at 8 or 9 whether they're going to stay at home and do yoga with you or they're going to do what I'm doing. Like, I'll give them a choice when they're adult. And they kind of have a back and forth conversation. He goes to confessionals like she was raised with a lot of freedom, and kind of low key insinuates that without the religious component, he doesn't necessarily think that his child would be raised well because he isn't. I think he doesn't respect the way that Yvette lives.
Yeah. This the dating and the drinking. The dating
Yeah,
and the drinking is just it's too much for him. And I just it's so interesting as a Western person who's relatively, liberal and who also grew up in a not as restrictive as Muhammad is making Islam to sound, but in a restrictive religion that wants you to stay pure, the purity thing, stay pure until you're married, and has all these rules on you. I always think to myself, of course the child is not going to choose the religion because you're putting things on them to, I don't know, stave evil or keep them on the right path, but it's like actually, yeah. Anyways, that whole is I have a whole other religious philosophical thought pattern I'm not going to go into, but the way also he kept saying he, my son, he. And I'm like, you don't know what child we're going to have. Also, Chris, I'm really tired of this. You know why? I'm tired of the quintessential 90 Day Fiance trope where every season of every spinoff, we have to talk about a woman who is seasoned and past her prime, about to have a child with a young man. And then it's like, well, I don't know if I can have kids. Girl, you know you cannot.
I know.
You know you cannot.
How old was he
So
again? Sorry, how old is she again, my love? Do you remember?
I don't even remember how old she is, honestly. I think she's like 47.
Yeah, I think she's like
But it's
40.
like even Angela did that. It's like the only person who was like no was like Rebecca. And it's like, thank you, Rebecca. Thank you for not putting us through you having to him and haw whether or not you're gonna try to have kids for this youngin. Like,
Yeah. Teresa said 47. Yeah. I agree. I was like, she said it, and I was like, okay. When she said it, I was like, does she is it because she only has the one child and she wants one more? Is that what it is? Because she tried to put it on like, oh, she thinks that Muhammad again is going to be such a great dad, and we're like,
based on what?
okay, based on what? LOL. And I mean, that man would not say the same about you.
Yeah. Yeah, you are absolutely right. He does not respect her. And it's like, then what do you want her for? Oh shit, the green card.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that is the craziest part. Yeah, like Muhammad. I'll be honest. I think that Muhammad is cannot wait.
Gay? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that Muhammad is not the straightest arrow, and I think that he is waiting to get a green card, and I think that he definitely has no intention to spend one more moment with Yvette than he has to. He's not going to spend his life taking care of that child. He is having this conversation with her about the child. He doesn't want to have a kid with her. It's why he's never brought it up. Because a man like Muhammad, if he's going to pretend to be straight, he's
Mhm.
going to want to have a child. It's going to be like a big thing, especially if he wants like in the like it's just altogether so obvious, and it makes me sad again for her to have friends that aren't I think able. She has made poor choices all around. I don't think that her friends are even seeing the right picture, which is like spending so much time attacking him and not being more like,
Girl.
girl. It's not
Yeah.
even about him. It's like what? I don't want to have dinner with him, honey. We need to go. Need to be shaked. Let's take you to Lululemon. Let's get you some new clothes. Let's throw away 75% of the shit in your house.
Yeah.
Let's free up the space and energy for you to bring someone really good in your life that like will aid to your life. If she had friends, that's what they would say.
And it's
But
just like, why do these women want to take on the burden of these people? Now listen, I at one point was like, oh, I'll do this. I'll take on the burden of a foreigner. And I think everybody side eyed me, and I was like, no, I get it. I watched enough 90 Day Fiance to understand the true burden of a foreigner. But I don't I didn't have kids. This woman can barely afford. She has to leave him on his first day in America because she can't afford to not go to work. So what makes her think that going through IVF or looking for a surrogate or whatever in order to keep this person is the ticket? It is. This would be a great plot twist for 90 Day Fiance if one or two of these couples actually didn't get married. This is what I need to see. I need to see her say, no, Muhammad should go home because we're not aligned. We've been fighting for the last 90 days. And he doesn't like my lifestyle. He thinks I'm a slut. He doesn't like my friends. He doesn't want to take care of my child, and he's going to say in the confessional, I love Yvette. And if we don't have children, I leave it up to God. And that to me is directly in I don't know. I just feel like his religion might dictate that he procreate. And for him to just be like, I'm not going to procreate. I guess I'll leave it up to God. No, you chose to get with a 48-year-old woman. That's not leaving it up to God. You made a choice that you didn't want kids or you're not going to have kids or whatever. Like it's bananas.
I don't feel good watching them. I feel really bad watching them the entire time. There's like, I will just tell you, yeah, overall, most of the time that they're on screen, I think the fact that like she has a son, and I just wish that overall that her son's going to lead a great life, and that's all I want for that person. And I hate to put a lot of the burden and challenge on her. I feels like and I'm trying to have some empathy because of the struggles that I don't even know about her life and how hard it must be. At the same time, I hate watching it. Wow.
Yeah. Can I show this meme real quick?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. When your bidet boy with the baby long whispers his dreams into reality.
Okay, and the whisper is, "It's very simple. My child will be Muslim." When your bidet boy with the baby lungs whiskers his dream into reality, and what you can't see is down here is the quote from the show. And it says, "It's very simple. My child will be Muslim." For someone who has such a strong opinion about what their child religion is going to be, to say that they don't care about having kids, it's like, I don't want kids. I don't care about having kids. But if I do have kids, Muslim, it's like, it's not on, it's not aligned. It's not aligned.
Yeah, I don't know with the I don't know what they say about procreation as much as it's if it's is like as ingrained as other religions, but I I just across the board, they seem to be just killing energy and time and space between each other and also on her dime. So, as much as I get mad at her, I'm like mad at her because I want her to do better. And I'm
Yeah.
also mad at her stupid friends.
And
Okay.
they're not, it's not like even Yvette is like promoting anything. She's not promoting her acupuncture. She's not promoting her yoga. She's not, there is nothing, there's no benefit financially for her. Like Rebecca had Joelle's chicken, like there are couples who do this who have like a gimmick. What does, who is asking for cameos from Eve? You
Mhm.
know?
Yeah, I mean, this is like, remember when, yeah, Stephanie had told us the name, like Stephanie and Ryan, like that person had told us the name of her med spa like 1 billion times. And like, she's not even a doctor, she just owns it. But like, Yvette is like, a practitioner, acupuncturist, we don't know. But we won't know. But we do know the name of Rebecca's chicken joint. Okay, so listen, when we know, you're supposed to know, we'll know. Um, so I'm going to move on to uh, just I think just the most boring couple of all time. I think I'm just going to give them the most boring couple of all time, where literally nothing is happening, and when something happens, it's not something that you would put on TV.
Yeah. It's heartbreaking. I fast forwarded them and then I saw pictures on the screen. So I stopped it so that I can rewind it a little bit to see what was happening. And when they said what was happening, I was like, "Oh, I don't want to. Sorry, rest in peace." But
Yeah, Kara and Guillermo. I mean, my own. This is what it is. A producer, just like me, met Guillermo and was like, "Oh, what an angel!" And that's a face made for TV. What an angel! That chair boob. I want to see all the time. What a little sweetheart. So listen. I have access to this one show. So if it's got to be this show, then fine. It's got to be in this show. But I just want to make this person's eyes sparkle on camera. Whatever like that is the only thing you can tell me because he is so lovely and they are so boring and nothing has happened that is something that any executive or producer should be like, that's watchable content. That's watchable. So in this situation, my loves, it's morning. She's making coffee. She asks him how he wants his coffee. He says whatever she wants.
does he drink coffee, or like why doesn't she know what he likes in his coffee, and B, like why is his answer whatever you want? You don't drink coffee, because that's what I do. And Chris is like, "Oh, do you want a little whatever?" And I'm like, "Yes." And then I don't know what to put in it, and I'm like, "What do you put in it?" And she tells me all the things that she puts in it, and then we'll be like, "Hey, just sit down. I'll make it for you." And then I'm like, "Okay," because
Which I guess is, yeah, which she did, I guess. And the answer to the question is I like mine with my Khalifa farm hazelnut creamer. It has like either the almond milk one with a little touch of coconut cream, or there's also an oat milk flavor. I actually do like oat milk lattes very much, but the creamer, the almond milk one, is great. Anyway, so at the same time, she makes them an espresso based drink, and there is a little cream in it, and she gives us the tea, which is basically that he has a lovely, honey, older brother, Juan Joaquin, Jose Joaquin, and Jose Joaquin, honey, retinol failure, which I'm not quite sure what it is. Wa, do you know what it is?
Oh, I fast forwarded through it.
Oh yeah, she
So
did say that. So, uh, I should have looked it up in this moment. It is something, honeys, where like hospital visits and like counts of maybe dialysis happens, and there's like
oh yeah,
it's
kidney.
I
That's what dialysis means to me. It's kidney
oh,
stuff.
it's kidney retinol failure, kidney failure. Is it kidney failure? Okay, he said kidney. Okay, well, renal kidney failure. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Yes, renal failure. All right, my loves. Okay, so that's what it is. So, and he's like much older, but they were very, very close. And so he knew that he was like having going through, and he was like living, like with another guy, like, like have a family member there, like taking care of them. And meanwhile, like, their brothers in the DR, and everyone's kind of like spaced around, but they have like that group text, honey. And then like they group text him, and they're like, it's not looking but good. Like, you should, like call him and like tell him like your like last words. And so they didn't sleep at all. And they had this conversation. Like, this is the sucky part about this whole 90-day fiance thing, is because he can't leave like when people are dying. Like, he just has to like stay there, which, yeah, it does suck. Although, is that true? But anyway, I'm not quite sure.
No, it's true.
Okay.
Like when you come there, you cannot leave during the duration of the K1 of the 90 days. You can't go back home. And then even after you get the visa to stay, you can't leave, I think, for a year.
Well, I
Um,
wonder why. Like, even in like why can't there be like one like you should be able to go like if something crazy happens one time, like, and yeah, maybe it's a thing where it's like, yeah, and then the bad thing is if you don't come back in 3 weeks, then things go wrong, or whatever in your application process. But you let a person go back once. I mean, this is also like 2022. There's planes, whatever.
yeah, I don't know. Ziad just went back, you guys. Ziad has been here for what, 2 years, and he just went back this year. Well, I mean, obviously COVID stopped him from going back probably initially, but like, yeah, it is it's a weird thing. So he is just like stuck here and not able to actually fly home.
Yeah. So then they cry, and God bless Guillermo crying. I never want to see it again. And then, another scene, honey, we're like, and then the next morning we heard another thing, and then he died. Okay, so that's literally the entire segment. Oh, he died. So then the brother dies, and then, it's really sad. That is all true. And I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to be mean. I don't want that person to die, and I'm sorry it happened, but I just cannot believe that we are watching this boring ass couple. Every segment of theirs has been, I mean, like, unwatchable. There's nothing that's happened. They have nothing going on. I
What are you
don't understand.
talking about? She, they went to look. She blew up some balloons, and then they went to look at venues that they couldn't afford, and then she met up with like the reality gaze calls him mustache gay. She met up with a homeboy, and oh yeah, remember they saw the uncle, and the uncle threatened to like beat him up or something. So it was like riveting, just so much content.
Uh, they, you know what? Is there like a brand new? I feel like this season, is there a whole new like behind the scenes crew? I mean,
I
did they
know.
just like, clean house? I don't know what to tell you. Are all the like veterans on other shows or something? Because from top to bottom, this feels like a completely different season. It feels like a back step. It feels like a step back in a billion ways. The music's bad. Like, these couples are boring. It feels like maybe they're just pumping out too much content or whatever. But like, it's interesting for a 90-day series, just regular 90 days, to have had such bad casting. That's what I blame. At the end of the day, the only couples that are interesting, I guess, are Emily and Kobe and Bilal and Shai, which is why I say them for last. But if it wasn't for them, oh my God. Oh yeah, by the way, I haven't even talked about Jibri and Riona yet, because kill me that I even have to. Which I will talk about them next, and then I'll end with the people I want to talk about. So yeah, my loves, that's it for Kara and Guillermo. Okay, I don't get them, okay. Uh, Sorry about it. Okay, so let's talk about Jibri and Miona. Now, at least there are some things to talk about with Jibri and Miona. Is it all fake? It feels that way, but at least I can sit here with Wah and have things to go back and forth about. Wah?
I just think Mahala, if it is fake, she's doing her best acting because
Hmm.
it's a calm, awkward acting, but I believe it. And Jabri's acting his butt off too. Like everyone's like, "Oh, it's fake. They're already this, they're already that," but like the the levels and the dimension to the build up. Because right now, what we've seen the last two episodes is the same day. You know what I'm saying? It's the same day, and they had to split it up because that's how much, from the whisper of like, you feel like I pressure you, and then like so that was one beat, and then he says some things, and then there's a pivot, and she completely makes a different choice. I mean, like, I see it.
You see the producer's work or Miona's work?
I see both Miona and Jabri's work. I mean, if it is acting, to me, it's not like outrageously fake. I don't know. I guess I'm just like, it just doesn't feel fake to me.
Okay. So we start in with Jibri's grandma coming in, honey, and she, God bless her, like she's not here for the drama, like she'd rather be on that, like estate, that farm, honey, like the mom and his mom and his grandmother together. Like I would actually rather watch them talk back and forth than this conversation because they are such interesting characters. Okay, so the grandma's like, oh, do I have to stay for this? I really don't want to. Like, I'm just kidding. Okay. And then Jibri's stepdad, honey, is making dinner. You know what I'm saying? And like, I don't know why Jibri doesn't know how to make dinner either because he's been privy to people, I guess, cooking before. But Jibri's dad's making burgers. Now, I'll tell you one interesting choice is that he is making a burger in a saucepan, honey, the same saucepan you'd make a little like marinara, honey. He's making some burgers in that saucepan. You know what I'm saying? Not a frying pan, not a grill pan, saucepan. So, and they lay it out, honey. There's no forks, or there's no knives on the table, but there is wishbone dressing. Different, probably the Italian one. What? Well,
What is the floor plan to that house? You
yeah,
walk in and you go in through, I think, a living room,
yeah.
and
Okay.
then you go into the kitchen
Mm-hmm.
to get into, I guess, a back room.
Yeah.
And then that back room is like there's levels to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then that table is surrounded by couches and a bookshelf.
Yes.
And it's the smallest table.
Yeah.
So I don't understand what the floor plan of that house is. Like, is it one of those railroad houses where like New York has them too, where like you go in through the front and then you go all the way to the back to enter the door to get to like a space, because like the front part is just like a long corridor. And then when you get into it, you like go in, you're in a living room, and then you hit the kitchen, and then the other side of the kitchen is a bedroom, and then is another bedroom. And it's like it just I mean, it happened. I just don't understand it. It's like it's the weirdest floor plan. It was like a floor plan made during wartime when people needed to get up houses really quickly, and that like if you were in the back part of the house, that's the last bedroom, and the front part is the living room, and then there's just like kitchen, bathroom, bedroom in between. It's just very weird. Anyways, that's that. I hate that. I hate every time they eat dinner and they eat in that small ass space. I'm just like, can we make other choices? Is there not another place we can eat?
Only because I wonder, like, oh, like, is there like an al fresco dining option? Is there no lighting there? Maybe it's a lighting choice, like
Mm.
But yeah, so they sit down at this dinner, and then there's just like 17 times people are like, "Wow, this looks like great. This looks great. Wow, this is a great meal. Thank you. This looks great." It looked okay. And I'm
Yeah,
real regular, honey. Just like there's listen, it looked the romaine looked crisp. There was chopped. It was tomatoes and romaine lettuce. Listen, I like that. I mean, like, was there any sauteed mushrooms or sauteed onions? No. No, that's fine. Was there any secret sauce? No. Does it need grilled onions and secret sauce every burger? Yeah. Yes. I don't know if there was cheese. It looked like if there was cheese, it'd definitely be American sliced cheese, which I know some people like on their burgers, but I would really pressure someone to open their mind to other cheese options.
it's 2022. They now sell sliced Kobe Jack and cheddar cheese. It
Tillamook.
wasn't it wasn't the slim pickings of our youth where it really, if you did want it sliced, you would have to go buy a block and like slice it yourself. No, no, no. They sell it pre-sliced. And so there is just absolutely no reason for people to purchase Kraft's macaroni, I mean Kraft's singles. I
Yeah.
mean, if you want to for your kids because you have a lot of them and you don't want to spend the $3, you'd rather spend the $1.50 and like it's just economics makes sense to you, or maybe you just truly like the taste. But you could do better. You should do better for yourself, for your
I,
body.
yeah, I just have you try. I mean, like on a burger, it needs. Oh God, like a sharp cheddar is so. Just takes my breath away. Anyway, oh Betsy, thumbs it up. Thanks. Yes. Forget to always ask. Betsy, by the way, doing the Lord's work at my Vanity Fair, just like a lot of funny things. A lot of funny memes. Wah likes memes. Wah, do you go to Vanity Fair and look at the funny things that are in my Facebook group? Ever see that? Ever look and see what the funny things that people post in my Facebook group? Wah?
Um, I think the bigger question you should be asking me is, why have you been to Facebook? And then my answer would be no.
Touche. Let me take this momentary break to really sing you one of my favorite ditties. Now, I know you know this top one hit, but if you don't, I really need you to get your fingers ready to snap along. Ready? One and a two and a thumbs. I don't know what. I don't know. I don't know how to do it. Wait. Thumbs it up. 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 Thumbs it up.
I hate that the kids do this. Is this the new this? Because we only did this for like maybe a year.
No, those kids. Listen, no. Unfortunately, this and wedding, a lot of wedding things with one hand, a lot of baby things. No, well, we've been doing that for a minute. Unfortunately, now. So anyway, but true story. Very much like this video. If you haven't yet, exit out. If you need to, just tickle my algorithm. I really appreciate it. I love being touched. Who doesn't? We all need to be touched, honey. So thank you for that. Oh my God, thank you to this. I appreciate my little like super chats and my super stickers. Thank you. You guys, that's so lovely. I do appreciate it. Ugh, you guys, you make me feel all warm inside. My cold, cold heart. Back, just quick question, Cami. When you say I like mine with cinnamon, did you mean burgers? Just wondering to know.
Coffee?
Yeah, maybe she meant coffee, or whoever that is. He made coffee. I want to know what that is. Okay, so moving on to this conversation. They pass around the food. They have the "this looks great" conversation, and then suddenly they're like, "Let's cut to the chase." Jippy's mom's like, "I just need to be truthful. Someone here is being pressured to do something they don't want to do." Fiona's like, "Let me guess. Is it that grandma here is pressuring Jibri's stepdad to change some of the look of this house? Because that's what should be pressuring someone to do some change around here. Oh, wait, no, it's Jibri against me, right? Of course. Of course. And that's exactly what it is. Yeah, like they are just I think that like I don't understand why we're supposed to think that Miona is the villain of this segment because I 100% don't. She has been brought here under the guise that she's going to get married. All that she has asked for is one thing, which is that she wants a beach wedding. She wants a beach what she wants her wedding on a beach. She hasn't told you it has to be nice. She hasn't even told you what beach. This woman wants to be married on a beach. It's not hard. I'm sorry. That's all she's asked for. And I don't understand why it's like a whole thing that it's like she wants so much. I feel like, should get a beach wedding. She's gone to Chicago. She's lived in South Dakota. She wears matching outfits. She's been brought to America. Like she wants one. She wants to have a beauty business. She wants to work. It isn't like she's even asking Jibri to make all the money in their lives and like not like whatever. Jibri is as crazy and entitled and millennial as she is. He wants to like do his passion. What?
Back it up. They're not fucking millennials. We are millennials. We are older millennials. Millennials are from 1982 to like 1994. Those babies were born after 1994. So this whole, I don't like this narrative of entitled millennials. This is something that was like floating around like in 2011 and 2012. And if people have just jumped on it, this is like Gen Y or whatever the generation after us is. I don't know who it is or what it is, but it is not millennials. Okay. We have got the shit end of the stick. Our parents are boomers. Now, Mahalia is not a boomer. Mahalia is Gen X. So that makes Jibri not a millennial. And for him to regurgitate that nonsense as if he even understands the stress that those of us had to go through, the stress of being little and learning the Dewey Decimal System, and then being not little and being expected to go on the internet and learn stuff. Like, if you don't remember when the iPhone came out, you're not a millennial. You're either a millennial or older. Okay. You know what? You know how I remember the iPhone coming out? Because I was in Los Angeles and I was dating this African man who pretended like he wanted to like take care of me. Right. And I had a friend, and this friend was like, you should make him buy you the iPhone. And I was like, what?
Was that
and this
me?
friend, yes. This friend was like, oh no, Apple, Macintosh is coming out with a phone. And I was like, I don't understand. A computer company is coming out with a phone? Why? I don't know. But you should have him buy you the new phone, is what that friend named Chris Ferris said to me in 2000 and
That's what a friend is.
5. So
why doesn't Yvette have me in her life? You know what I'm saying?
So anyways, there's that. But like, I don't agree with you.
The phone?
No, I didn't tell. Remember he like, I told him I started small and I told him I needed a planner because this is when I use the planner a lot. And he bought me some like old lady 1987 like knockoff red like fake leather planner that when you opened it up it had like the like metal hooks, the metal binding in it, like as though I was going to take the pages out. And I said, you didn't even go to like a store and get this to me? You like found this like in some thrift store? And everything that he like purchased for me was like
used
trash. So he couldn't be trusted.
No, he cannot. And really neither should Jibri because this is what I also don't get. Jibri should be able to handle his life in his relationships. And I do not see a world in which Jibri has done that well doing that. I also like don't understand why Jibri isn't just like, Miona, I don't want to get married yet if I don't want to get married. But instead he's enlisted everyone to come like tell her instead. I think it's really immature. And I kind of get Miona being like, it's not attractive. Like, it's not attractive for you not to be your own man. Like, tell me, she's kind of like, are people in your ear? It's like she wants a man to just do what he's going to do. So if it's what he wants, and like Jibri is being pretty wishy washy of like what that means, because it's taken his mom to kind of pull it from him in front of her. And then when he kind of does it, instead of being like, you're pressuring me to get married, it's like, well, you've been pressuring me about the beach wedding. And it's like, don't make it about the beach wedding. Make it about getting married if that's what your issue is, because she deserves a beach wedding, honey, if she wants a beach wedding. And she deserves a beach wedding if she wants a beach wedding. Just like Yvette deserves to not have a child be Muslim if she doesn't want to. And it's a very quick fix for her not to, which is not be with Muhammad. That's how you not have an Islamic child with Muhammad. You don't be with Muhammad. And if
I
you do not,
disagree.
and if you want to marry Miona, you have a beach wedding or you don't marry her. She wants a beach wedding. Why do you think that she has to get married in like South Dakota, like on a farm after she's given up everything to be there? Why do you think that?
The 90-day fiance. Okay, if the rumors are true and she is actually there on a spousal visa, this all makes sense. That was the reason why she wants a beach wedding. But the fact is that they're on a show called 90 Day Fiance. And so they have to pretend that they are going to get married in 90 days. And unless you all have been planning the wedding actively, planning the wedding and put that you put down deposits on the venue, on the caterer, and the photographer, unless you have done that while that person was still in the other country, it is irrational for the person to come to the US and demand any kind of special wedding. That wedding needs to be small and intimate and cheap. And if doing it in South Dakota is what's going to do that, so that in the long run, you have more money. Like, I wonder how much money Miona has brought with her to the US. That is my question. Because I think it's irrational. And I guess because I don't have a true understanding of like the fantasy of planning your wedding, or like, that's never been my ministry. I'm not that girl. So it's irrational to, the same thing with Emily. It's irrational to want a specific type of wedding when you do not have the money to do that, nor the resources. And if it's cheaper and easier on your partner who you've come there, yes, you've sacrificed a lot. But if it's cheaper on them to just do something small and quick and dirty, and then you guys have your wedding later on, then just do that. Like, just do that. I get what you're saying. She did leave everything behind, and I do understand that she, that they were on the same page. The only thing I'm going to give her on this one is that they were on the same page with everything until recently in her mind. And so all of a sudden it switched on her, and now he's forcing her to do stuff, and she's now she's now forcing things onto him, and all this stuff. And she's like, well, no, privately you said I could do what I wanted to do, and now you're switching everything up and expecting me to just go along with it. Now, if that was the narrative, I'd be with it. But this man has said to her in front of us, I cannot afford to give you a beach wedding. And also, if I'm going to get married in the US, your family's not there, but I would absolutely love for my family to be there. And my family can't just up and go. Now, if the beach is on the Michigan shore, or like Michigan Lake or whatever that is, then that's different. They could drive to go there. But otherwise, if she wants a beach wedding in California or in Florida, like, that's asking a lot of his family to pick up and go. And is he willing to trade off not having his family there for her to have a beach wedding? And I think the answer is no.
Yeah, he's definitely not. Okay, yeah. Beach wedding, it's a spectrum of how much you pay for it, because like I think that there is a realm in which you could do a beach wedding. I mean, I've never had a wedding, but what beaches are public property. So there's possibilities of doing a wedding for low cost at a beach, especially if it's a public beach and it's outdoors and you're not paying for a hotel and all that. I'm not quite sure. Um,
But I
I
guess
just
it's
feel,
different if you want to do a beach wedding and you don't care. You're just gonna get a dress and run out with bare feet, and you're just out as long as you're just in front of a bank. If you're just in front of some body of water on a shore, you're fine with that. But does that strike you as Miona's thing? Do you think that Miona's beach wedding is just like a slapdash? Hey, just meet us at Pier 78, and we're just gonna go down to the water and do it real quick and walk away.
yeah. Well, do you think that she's gonna wear one of those like anklet things, like a slave anklet things, like like those like wedding shoes that are just like anklets?
No, I don't know what you're talking about, but I
Oh,
don't
okay.
think she is.
Yeah, you would take that thing, you put her like middle big toe in it, like it would just be like on her foot like that. She'd like walk on the sand.
Oh, I know what you're talking
Okay. I I don't know. I mean, I maybe she's like thinking like full Tulum, like a Tulum situation, like I'm not quite sure. Um I just feel like how shy just like wants a kid. She just keeps saying like, okay, whatever, I just want like a kid. To me, it's almost like the same thing where like that's all she's asked for the whole time. She wants a beach wedding. And I feel like, yeah, she's in South Dakota, da, 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 like it's the only thing
There's
she's
no
asked for.
money. There's no money.
You can do it for cheap. Now, whether she wants an expensive beach wedding, that's what she has to contend with.
I
I
just
mean,
feel like it would
listen,
be a waste. If I wanted a wedding in a barn and I just had this idea of like a beautiful barn with like I don't know, jars with like lights in them making it look like it's I don't know, fireflies, and then like someone's like, "Oh, you can't have that, but you can have this barn," and it's like some crazy ass barn in like Salinas. I'd be like, "Okay, then I'm sorry, I don't want this. If it can't be the picture I have in my head of a beach or a barn, then I don't want it until I can do it right." That's me. But okay.
do you really get married in a barn?
Oh, absolutely. I've never even thought of a wedding. Like I don't even like I've never even like imagined what that because the wedding that I imagined is dumb expensive. And so the
Okay,
moment
well, what
I
does it look
even
like?
like it's like I put a picture up on my Instagram of like this outdoor um like I would love to
Oh,
be outdoors but like not like in a villa. Okay, like let's say your dad's like the ranch. You know how it like
hmm
overlooks the backyard, like overlooks that. I
hmm
like a overlooks the scene. I would love to have something beautiful like that, where I'm on a property that overlooks something beautiful, like the ocean or like Greece, like the bay or something like that, right? And then like have there be like flowers everywhere, but the flowers are like attached to wires and stuff to make that over the table, and the table's like snaked and everything is gold and it's like beautiful. But that's just like the dinner. I have outfits in my wedding. Like the first one is like a walking down a staircase and everybody's like as I walk down the staircase, and the person's at the base waiting to walk me down. My dad's the person at the base waiting to like walk me down the aisle. It's dumb extravagant. You know what it is? It is Real Housewives of Atlanta when Cynthia Bailey marries. There's this whole scene of her walking down a beautiful staircase, and ever since then I was like, oh, if you're gonna do it, that's how I'm gonna do it. And then there's like I said, there's outfit changes. There is like the outfit that I wear down the aisle, and then there's an outfit that I wear for like the dancing, and then there's a change that I wear from when we leave.
what's okay? Wait, so you have an outfit? Okay, wedding dress, big one.
Hmm.
Is it, I mean, what's this? Do you know like the cut of it? Is it mermaid? Is it princess? Is
No,
it like?
no, I don't know any of that. Mm-mm.
Is there a big veil? Is there a veil?
Yes. Hmm.
Okay. Okay. Then there's the next out. The next outfit is okay.
The
I
next
want to bring this
outfit.
up. This is what I kept thinking the whole time. You want to walk downstairs in heels and the dress of your life? I would every step be like,
Wait a minute. The dress of my life. Explain that. The wedding dress is the what? Okay, you're right. I'm telling
thank
you
you.
though, I've not truly thought of this.
It's a great. Well, Therese has a great point.
Yeah, I've not
Stairs are
truly
great.
thought of this. I don't know. I don't even. I don't.
You
I've
are
been
now.
into a David's bridal one time, so I don't really even know like what one would do. I give
I'm
me a
not going to
baby
David's
before you
bridal.
have me plan a wedding.
I'll plan your wedding. This is what I think you should do. Get married at a vineyard. Someone up here said Santa Barbara. That's gorgeous. Obviously Temecula. Like when you said Vista, like, you said Temecula, which is where my dad lives. And then like I thought of us being at Leoness. Like, remember that Vista? What a beautiful, like,
Yeah, that was
we
nice.
took those pictures. I know. And
But I
then
want
an
something
outdoor,
private.
what? Oh
Private.
yeah.
No, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay. Okay, I don't know.
And then like, yeah, and then they would have like all those beautiful like lights in the trees, and you would have like a beautiful dinner outside with like the most beautiful flowers and like twinkle lights and stuff like that, and just like probably like a great like band or DJ, and have like a dance floor and play into the night, and just like that's what your wedding should be, and that's what I'll plan for you. That's fine. But at the same time, I really hate stairs. I hate the stairs idea, and you can talk me into it maybe. And if there's stairs on property, like only, but I'm not gonna look for stairs for you because you will be walking down stairs nervous out of your mind with heels on and a very
Oh
heavy
no.
dress.
Okay, you're right. You're right. No heels though. What if I could do without heels? What if I do Serena Williams? I mean, not Chucks, but like a flat, right? And then no one can see my shoes, and then I'm walking, and then I get there, and then obviously when I change into my dancing outfit, yeah, heels.
Okay, are you only not wanting to wear heels because that's how badly you want to walk downstairs?
That, and I'm probably gonna marry somebody short, and you don't really see the shoes. Like, if you can't see the full shoe, I don't need it.
Okay. Great. Well, anyway, now that we've deep dive into Was, we can go back and tell you Miona wants a beach wedding, honey. It's what she wants. Okay, so like we don't know, you don't know how many changes she's gonna have, but we can assume probably at least one. And yeah, everyone, then probably at least, yeah, she probably will have a dancing outfit, and then Was like going home outfit. Miona's would be like a matching white terry cloth like velour set with like like Jibri's bride, or like Mrs. Black Serb or whatever it is. And then she'd like like have like slides, and she'd like walk off. As long as Wall doesn't get married in blue Crocs, I'll be so happy about it, straight up. Let me also tell you that this conversation at the table kind of goes back and forth, and then yeah, Jibri like is like, yeah, she just wants a beach wedding because she's so entitled and Liz doesn't know what she's talking about. And then Jibri's mom was like, all right, well, let's take it a step back, mister. All right.
You're not gonna call her names like entitled and millennial.
Miona's like, okay, well, also, can we talk about the bigger picture, which is that this grown ass man thinks it's okay for him to talk about our private business to all of you guys and not me?
No, he did talk to her about it. She's known that he's feeling pressure. She's known that he's upset about the fact that there's a beach wedding. She knows that. She knows. So this is not
even be brought up. It's not that it's a beach wedding is the problem. Is that he doesn't want to get married right away. The beach isn't it.
Oh.
He's using beach wedding, but like they're all saying you shouldn't get married right away. Like, why are you getting married right away? And he's like, because if I don't marry her right away, she's gonna leave my ass. I'm like, Miona, is that true? And Miona's like, yeah, because I want to get married to a man that knows what he wants. And this whole time, this man that I've been dating has telling me that he wants to get married to me. And to the last 3 weeks or whatever that you all have been now like telling him whatever, now it's different. So I'm sorry. Yes, I'm not going to sit around while this twinkle toes just like twiddles his thumbs and decides what he wants back and forth. I'm going to find myself a man who knows what he wants and do the damn thing, and or not, but at least not be like drawn down in some carriage down a darkened alley just to go down a different path than I thought I was going down. If I'm taking an Uber, I want to know where I'm going in the Uber. I don't just go on long Uber rides.
Okay, I can see that. I think you're right. I think you're making a lot of sense right there. I just think that like, is it really love if you would leave him? Like, is it that kind of love, or is it is it a rational love? Is it the kind of love that you should have when you get married to somebody, where you're like, I'm sticking with you through thick and thin. I'm not just going to leave you for any stupid reason because you won't, for example, give me a beach wedding. I'm not going to leave you for that, but I am going to leave you because you led me down. You're right. You led me down this path and told me, hey, up ahead, we're going to make a right. Okay. Up ahead, we're going to make a right. Up ahead, we're going to make a right. Then we get to the intersection and we don't make a right. In fact, we just stand here looking left and looking right. And now you're confused on what you want to do. And maybe you want to walk backwards. Maybe you want to go back.
Also, what if your whole family, his whole family was there going, "Raw, stop pressuring him to make that right," and you're like, "You can tell, no,
Okay.
no, I'm sorry, I didn't pressure him. You
Okay.
are pressuring him to take a right turn," and you're like, "Well, if he does not want to take a right turn after telling me he wants to take a right turn, I'm sorry. I don't feel comfortable just waiting for the next time he wants to take a right turn. I don't even
Yeah.
think that maybe that right turn is not going to happen." And you're
Yeah.
not going to
Okay.
put that on me as if I'm the wrong. Okay.
Okay. I agree. You're right. You're right. But I still think that she's wrong for wanting a beach wedding.
She was like, okay. In time for a thumbs up. Oh, Mickey! Mickey, I'm so happy you're here because you were at Waz, and I was like, Mickey just keeps going to Waz and never coming to my lives. But then I also think that sometimes I go live at awkward times. Mickey, you can tell me how you
Mickey's
think
on
about
the
that.
East Coast. She's in Toronto.
I don't know. Doesn't
It's
she
like
remind
three.
you of Anfisa? Yes, she does. Yes, she does. She does.
Oh, and
She
Fisa
does.
graduated from UC Irvine
I saw
recently.
that, honey, with a business degree, and now she's living in San Diego.
Yeah. You know what? Anfisa is the goat. Okay. She's the
Yeah.
fucking goat. Anfisa
Yep.
is she I'm so happy and proud of her. She came to this country, was fed a lie, rocked the hell out of 3 or 4 seasons of 90 Day Fiance. So much so that when her husband went to prison, she was able to continue to live a lifestyle because of all of the ads and the cameos and the stuff that she was doing. Then she decided to kind of separate herself from 90 Day Fiance and, like, low key, still has that audience and gives us a little bit of 90 Day tease every once in a while. But then came here, went to a junior college, got all good grades, then went to a UC, which is a great school, found a new boo, like won some kind of amateur weightlifting competition. Like, she's the goat.
Anfisa had a goal in mind, and listen, she got it. And I think that I don't her goal as opposed to Larissa's goal. It's interesting how different you can achieve certain similar things with different styles. And
Mhm.
Anfisa is someone who has had plastic surgery, just like Larissa. Like it's, but it has for some reason has been a little for some reason has been a little more it seems like emotionally mature or emotionally intelligent to be able to make it work. And this is someone who we saw screamed, "Give me my red makeup bag." So I mean, like, it isn't like this person has
she
been the most mature person the entire life, but somehow she made it. I don't know what to tell you.
she keyed that man's car. We thought that she was straight up Euro trash when she came to the US. And she has reinvented herself without with being sexy, but also being like, her whole thing is simple sexy. That's her whole thing. And like working really hard and surviving without her husband and then divorcing him and then just like excelling and getting a degree and is like going to be able to like do whatever, and she will always have that following on social media, so she will always be able to make her own money. And it's just like, I told you to get me my red bag.
I think that I like Anfisa. I think that there's a lot I feel in my heart there is some things that that Anfisa has done and will continue to do that are a little underbelly of the worlds. But
Like what? Text me. It's okay. Text me. We'll talk about it privately. Um, I'm gonna
okay, but
start
I don't.
wearing jewels on my eyes too. Miona had jewels on her eyes, and all the girlies are wearing like jewels on their face. It's the whole thing on TikTok, and so, in order to stay young and fresh, we
Okay,
purchasing jewels.
so do you like my eyeliner today? It's very chill. Do you see it and you like it? It's very chill, right?
Mm-hmm.
So would I put the jewels under or on top of? Like one, two, or like two, two? It's like you're supposed to go
You
down.
Well, the girlies have it anywhere they want, so you don't have to choose where you want to do it. If I were to do it, I wouldn't put it next to my eyeliner the way she does it. I would do it like highlight. So it'd be like boop 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 boop.
On my like highest part of my cheekbone, you mean? Like,
Hmm.
I know.
But it has to be a spot that is like when you talk, it isn't going to be moving around a lot. So maybe not there. Maybe I would do it. I don't know where. I don't decide.
You know, the eye is not a bad idea, like because it draws focus there, and like maybe if there was a way to like make your eyes look bigger somehow or something, I'm not quite sure. Um, okay, so in this conversation, I just want to end their segment by being like, I'm happy that she's just in front of all these people. Like, why are you talking about our relationship to everyone else? And I almost want there to be like a straight shot of Jabri's mom, like, because it's like a very good point. Like everyone is in this woman's business, and I also want to say, and Fisa, I don't think, I think that Eastern European cultures are probably not as open to talk about problems as like Americans are, especially a psychiatrist and psychologist and her son. So, like, for Miona to sit here at a dinner where Jibri, who I think is an only child, right? With his mom, they have a very close relationship where it's obvious that like his mom, well, first of all, his mom is a whole ass psychologist and therapist. We're talking about everything, and she's, obviously very close to her son, if not a little bit like in his business. And so to even like be there while Mia, like that's not the culture that Miona lives in. Like they don't talk about this kind of stuff like out like that. Like Miona's mom, so in this, it must feel completely rude to her. It must be incredibly like how you are expecting me to sit here and just, it's so different. I feel like they're not even giving her the like, I think, the understanding and empathy of how different culturally it is to sit there and talk about like your issues like that in front of everyone's parents like that, especially it's awkward, you know. Uh oh, Mr. TL Snow just like coming in. Oh, Mr. TL Snow, I get that you're not watching this, but what are you watching, Mr. TL Snow? I'll review something that you like. Okay, so we have one more. No, we have two more people to talk about. I don't understand how this is the longest live of my whole life, but
Because it was
let's.
every. You were right. It's every couple, and then I came in here and we started talking about wedding dresses. It's my fault.
Okay, but it is every couple. Okay, Bilal and Chai and Emily and Kobe. Who do you want to talk about next?
Emily and Kobe.
Okay, Emily and Kobe. Now, it starts off, honey, the way it usually starts off, which is that Emily's driving them in a car, and they're going to, and he has to sit there in the driver's seat while she makes all the decisions. But however, they are going to sit and sleep, honey, and they are going to go into a mattress superstore and try all the mattresses, which by the way I just did, which this really like brought it home. On Memorial Day, I made my dad go get a new mattress, and so we went to sit and sleep. Oh my god, it's the best. Have you guys ever been mattress shopping? Nothing makes me happier. So yeah, you just get to go into a big warehouse, and now they kind of like let you know, like, you guys want like a little help, or do you want us to go try things on and come and get us? What?
I didn't realize it was so late, and my aunt is there, and I can't be here. I have to go.
Love you so much. Well,
Thank you so much for having me. I'm sorry for taking up so much of your time. I'm going to be leaving my house in 45 minutes. If you want to call me, I have a little bit of a drive. Bye.
did you just hear what she said? Did you hear what she said to me? She's leaving her house in 45 minutes. It's 8:40 now. And then she's having a long drive. Okay, well, great. Um that's gonna be. I wonder where she's driving. Maybe to like a Taco Bell that's really far away. Maybe she found the one Taco Bell around her that still has a Mexican pizza, and she's driving to that Taco Bell. It's like in Colton or Bakersfield. She's gonna go get a Mexican pizza, and she just like wants like a long car ride to talk to me about it. I'm sure that's the treasure at the end of that long car ride rainbow. Mexican pizza. I can't eat after 6 p.m. I know why. I was trying to get them off the scent, but then you ruined it. No. Listen, why would you drive late at night to go somewhere? I don't know. Flower Lotus. No. Yeah, with gas prices, I'm dead. Okay. All right. So they go to sit and sleep, and honey, she can't even like let Kobe like enjoy not one laying on the bed without. Don't let your feet get on the bed, and he knows not to get his feet on the bed. We all know. Also, I think that it's personally, by the way, what a great test if someone has integrity and elegance about them. Bring them to a sit and sleep and see if they were going to jump on a bed with their feet in their shoes. I think it's telling if you are with someone and they do that. I'd want to know if their natural inclination would make them do that. Okay, so they're trying things on. They're being a little frisky, like of the couples that have like no sexual chem, it's definitely not Emily and Kobe. They definitely do. Like the couples that don't have any sexual chem would be like Bilal and Chaya, like don't feel like they like each other at all. And I mean, obviously, Yvette and Muhammad, nothing happens between them. But not the same with like Emily and Kobe, honey. They are like little rabbits, on in this sit and sleep, honey, and like really testing out the goods. It's also somewhat exciting because in this moment, Emily seems like she is deciding to spend money in this case for his good. She's making it seem like she's doing this because it's something that he wants, which is yes, he would like to sleep with her and also spend time with Coven, his son, in the same bed. We don't know what kind of bed Emily's sleeping in, but we're assuming it's a full. Maybe it's a queen. And I don't know what they're looking for, maybe a Cal King. But they should. By the way, I am now to the age where the next bed I can get will have adjustable qualities. Because I got my dad got adjustable bed. And oh my God. It feels so good to go to bed in like a slightly relaxed U position. It really like is so good on your lower back. So they find a bed, and they're spending time together. And a little bit though, it's like in my mind, it's like, okay, but also Emily, you also benefit from a brand new bed. Also, Emily, you love spending money as we know. And I get it, but like isn't like this is only for Kobe. You're getting a brand new bed. And you like spending money. So they get the bed and like that's cool. And then he decides that he's going to go ring shopping and take, her sister and her dad. And we know that he brought 4,000 and the dad had to like sort of be like 4,000 isn't as much as you think it is, and that was like somewhat heartbreaking to watch. And the sister we know went dress shopping with Emily in the last season, or sorry, the last episode, and had to hear that Emily, after repeatedly asking Kobe to buy her another ring because the ring that he had bought her previously wasn't good enough, that she repeatedly kept hinting, wanting, making sure that he knew just that she wanted a ring. She took what little money they have and bought herself a ring. Meanwhile, asking her parents to pay for the wedding they don't need while living at her parents' house. Okay. There's been a lot of hate on Emily this season, and I have, expressed my viewpoints. But on like a devil's advocate role, I'll tell you that this woman just keeps getting what she wants. How does someone just keep getting all of it? Everything? Brand new bed, 3 rings. This woman has a brand new bed and 3 rings. 3 of them. Okay. 3 rings. So, so many more rings than like very, very famous basketball players. I don't know, more rings than hobbits. I don't know what to tell you. All she wants is a wedding, nice dress, and a ring. Well, like that's what I'm saying. Like all Miota wants is a beach wedding. And she's not even saying it has to happen right away. It's just that when she gets wedding, she wants a wedding. When she gets married, she wants it to be on a beach. Emily has everything. Okay, so God bless. So anyway, so Kobe gets the money he has and takes her dad and the sister, like does the best possible way to like make sure that he gets a ring that not only is a good purchase that will make Emily happy and will be like her taste. And he buys a beautiful ring and they go to dinner. And they've been really like, enjoying this time together. She's like having fun and they're like laughing. They have like a warm spirit about them because, like Emily has a warmth about her. It just is somewhat kept in the closet of extreme narcissism, but I think that that also comes from a place of like trauma and pain. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but there's like stuff there that's unpacked in some way. She okay. It's obvious that Emily is insecure, and the ways in which she is insecure, she covers that by like controlling the extreme controlling nature, right? Now, I don't understand why her whole family has like given in to her so much to sort of create this personality trait. But that is it. Okay. So but he's like, this is the part of a character that makes a person a character. She's not evil. She's not 100% evil. You're not 100% good. She makes bad choices, but she's warmer than other people. Like, again, I would rather be in a car with her than Kara for like, as long as Wa's going to be in her car ride. You know what I'm saying? Ha ha ha. To the Taco Bell in Colton where she can get that Mexican pizza, honey, and spend $400 in gas. So, whatever it is, listen, you do what you got to do when you have a craving for some Taco Bell. You have to make a run for the border when you get an itch for a burrito. I love a chalupa, and so does Wah. Who doesn't love a nice, warm, seasoned gordita? So, anyway, at this dinner, God, I love Kobe. He's just like, babe, order whatever you want. I'm like, this is me and taking you out and like whatever you want. She's like so excited. She's like, okay. They bring over champagne. She's like, see what happens when you're with me? You get everything for free. You get treated like a goddess because you're with me when you're with me. Meanwhile, this is champagne's happening because Kobe has set it up. She is like, me, VIP treatment with your queen, me. What? Drinks the champagne and there's the ring. As fizzy as a ring can be in that glass of champagne. And she's like, babe, 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 babe. Takes the ring out, puts it on. Now, here's where we're like, well, Emily, you got what you wanted. If only you can appreciate it by acting the way you should act, which is to be eternally grateful and ashamed. Grateful that you found a guy that listens to you and knows what you want and only wants to make you happy, even though he doesn't have all the resources for some reason that your whole family has, which is to give you everything. But she doesn't. She brings Kobe back, who is on cloud nine for having given her what she wanted. It's interesting. There's a part of men, and I think, and again, I'm in this realm, I'm speaking of Kobe, and I can see this in many different men, but if we're going to talk about this relationship, which is heterosexual, cisgendered, somewhat traditional, I guess, in those reels, there's a part of men when they consider themselves to be like masculine in the way that Kobe does. He wants to drive and stuff like that. He's like, like there is a part of men who truly feel joy and happiness to give the woman in their life what they want. We talk about like, I think the gender roles and like the money stuff and everything. And the money stuff of like, Patrick and Thais and that kind of stuff of like Bilal and Shy, men who have a lot of money and holding it over the women's heads and things they want. And the flip side is that it's very often, it makes men very happy to give their loved women in their life what the women want. It feels good to provide that. It enriches them in some way. It makes them feel good that they were able to provide for the women in their lives what they want, what they need. Watching Kobe glow from that moment of him setting everything up and giving her what she wanted is a palpable glow. So they get to the house and her parents are there, and Coven runs up to his mommy, and we all kind of wish that Coven would also run up to his daddy. And I know that time's gonna come, but it's, as an audience, I think that we all held our breath a little bit because we really want that Coven to just run up and just be like, daddy, a little bit, haha. But I get it. And the whole family's there, and she's like, look, he proposed. But they were like, proposed, like, he gave me another ring, and the family already knows, because they were there, and so they have champagne about it. And really would be great if there was something else happening in this family's life for them to not have this next moment happen. If somehow they were too busy playing a game where she didn't have to fill the space of silence with the next part of what she's about to do. I don't know, in my mind, I was like, if only they were playing a murder mystery board game when they walked in and they were like, oh, look, we got her a brand new ring. And they were like, great, Kobe, great. Oh, quick, but put on this disguise and join this game. So Emily wasn't able to do what she does next, which is like, yeah, he got me this ring that you kept asking for, but I just feel the need to ruin this moment completely by being like, look what I also did, buy myself a ring because I didn't trust you. I didn't trust that you, A, would do it because I thought you were either A, lazy, or B, too cheap, or C, you'd buy me a ring I wouldn't like you already had because I think your taste is bad and I don't trust you to be, I don't know, a husband for me or a father for my kids or to do anything right. I'm Emily. Also, I make horrible choices because I have absolutely no money and spent money on this extra ring, the third ring. We're all like, don't say that. Are you insane? And then after that, Emily's like, but don't even worry about it because when I bought it, he said I could just return it. Which were then like, why didn't you just shut the F up and return it then? You should have never told us this. Just shut up and return it. That's what you should do. You should have just. No one will know. No one would have known. Except that it was on TV. Even if she should have just waited till she had already gotten married and been like, boo, I didn't know if you'd buy me a ring, so I bought a ring, ha ha ha, but then I returned it. And this conversation I'm telling you is definitely not happening in front of everyone, so I'm definitely not embarrassing you. Although I did tell my mom and sister, which you'll see on TV. But they know that I'm a nightmare. And that scene happened more with me being a nightmare than you being untrustworthy or cheap or bad taste. Which is true. I love you guys so much. We wanted Coben to want Kobe. I know. Put on this disguise. Haha. Yeah, just I'm sorry. I prefer to look back and you guys are talking about. Yeah, does that family go around and play board games? I mean, I'm not quite sure, but they could use some clue. They could use a clue. Oh, that's my next joke, honey. That's what I'm gonna say about men, honey. Ugh, men these days in these dating apps, like I don't know if they play board games, but they could use a clue. Do people already use that joke? Have you heard that joke before? Am I like a master punster? Are you impressed every time you come to a live with some dumb joke that I put together for you? Listen, if you feel such a way, I need some sort of special emoji. What's a good okay? So if you like this dumb pun, this is I like to come up with like a special dumb emoji pun joke for every live. You can just put like a little magnifying detective emoji in the comments. Okay. So I can't believe I still haven't talked about Bilal and Shai. Ugh, I hate this. So basically, that's what happens, and it's just horrible. And he gets so upset. He's like, I can't believe you didn't trust me. I can't believe this. It's just like heartbreaking to watch this man. Like, oh my God. I am so sorry, Kobe. I just really think that Kobe like needs to go to that dad and be like, come on. What? Emily needs to be like talked to by someone that she respects. And it feels like it should be her dad. I know Juan in her live also talked about the fact that, and I, cause I think I actually asked, like, why doesn't, oh, this was my question, I guess. Why doesn't Emily's, or why is Emily's dad afraid of her? Why doesn't Emily's dad tell her what's up? Bring her aside and being like, you're rude. You're horrible and rude to this man. I mean, you should be doing different things than being mean to this man if you want to be with this person. I'm telling you this as someone not only as like a man, but also as your father and as your parent who for some reason let you grow up to be like a little bit of a bore. BOAR. She's boorish in her opinions and what she wants. She's like a bull in a china shop. She's heavy-handed. It's heavy-handed to like go and repeatedly hit over someone's head that you want them to buy a ring and then also not trust them to do so. God, did I talk about Patrick and Thais? No, I didn't. Did I? How is this live going to be 4 hours long? Do I still have two more couples to talk about? I don't even know what to tell you about that. You guys tell me. I gotta get off of these. So, I felt really bad for Kobe. I mean, like, I just feel like I wish that Kobe, like, yeah, could have like Emily's dad talk to Emily and also just talk to him to be like, I know, just so you're not crazy. I did a wrong thing. I raised her this way, and she shouldn't be like this. She should be a better relationship partner. You're not wrong. everything you're feeling valid. Okay. So, goddamn. All right. So let's talk about Patrick and Thais. So Patrick and Thais, after that thrilling conversation, how he pretty much like doesn't really involve her in any sort of decisions or like doesn't really involve her in his life and kind of wants to keep things really separate. And she's like, but I'm gonna be your wife. It's like confusing and likes you to tell me things. And also, can I buy like one thing to have of myself in this white barren house that you share with John? Okay, $40 for a vase. Okay, so that's what we're at with her. But then we start, honey, and he has just done a whole other thing where he's like, okay, I just bought tickets to Vegas. We're going to Vegas. She's like, oh, I'm now? And she's like, yeah, we're leaving tomorrow. She's like, well, thanks for okay. But she's also very excited because she's been in Austin. And, you know, like Vegas is a whole thing. And I just watched Elvis, by the way, the Baz Luhrmann biopic, which definitely has a lot of time in Vegas. And there's a whole ass movie that like definitely shows Vegas in a light. And, you know, if you know that Baz style, it's over the top and it's colorful. It's like a little fever dream. All this things feel like fever dream. And this is an Elvis fever dream in Vegas. And a lot of lights. And it does make it look glamorous. I do get that, you know, but it's interesting every time you get someone who hasn't been to Vegas who definitely like gets the lights and everything. And I get that it's glam, but for anyone who's been there, there's the double side of Vegas, which is that it's like great and glamorous, also incredibly disgusting and dirty at the same time, and depressing. And you're tired, everyone's drunk, everyone's kind of messed up. It's like this side of the coin. So anyway, but she is excited to go, and she's like packed, when they get there, they're driving through, she's like taking pictures of everything, and she's like so excited. He's like, okay, we're going to meet with my little brother. His name is Matt, and I'm really close to Matt, and I know that you don't like love that John, but Matt's also great, and Matt's husband Carlos. And Patrick's whole thing is that that's where he's from, Vegas, like that's where his mom lived, that's where he grew up, and they grew like with Matt and John. And as we've said and as we know, their mom like went through them drug issues, like just like how and I'm sure it was like a very tough situation, just like how we kind of had to feel with Memphis in the last situation. Just like we haven't met that mom yet, Patrick's mom, so we don't know like exactly what her life is like. It was interesting that Memphis shared her story and we got to meet Memphis's mom. So but here we are. I don't know what hotel they're staying at. I think it looks off strip, but it's a hotel that does have a kitchen. Great. They're laying in bed, and they go out to meet Matt. And Matt has braces. That's fine. What happens is in their conversation, it's very cute. Like I think that Thais is being really warm. I actually was kind of thinking that Matt might like Thais more than he seemed to. He didn't seem like he was really thrilled with her, which I get at this point later in the conversation when she reveals that she has not told her dad that she came to America to get married. Now, Patrick did not know that. Patrick thinks that he has won over Thais' whole family. He thinks that Thais' family likes him and supports their union, and that maybe, like they think that she's going to come over and have a good life, or, not have to worry or whatnot. But what the real is that Thais' dad does not like Patrick, thinks that he's probably like a musclehead, meathead, American who wants to like throw money and use his daughter, but also doesn't want his daughter to move to America, like very much wants that baby around him. So would he ever like a man? Who knows? But what happens is Thais kind of just keeps saying like, oh, my dad is going to get jealous, jealous. It's a different word to use. Envious, that's like not a right word either. Mad, it's like jealous. It makes us feel of like, well, she's not jealous of you for being in America, and he can't be jealous of Patrick because at some point you have to get married. I don't know. It's a really interesting scene because she says it, and then she like in the confessionals is immediately like, why did I say it? I didn't mean to say it that way. It just slipped out, And Patrick is taken aback by it. Matt, I think when he hears that, it sort of dissipates any sort of like good feelings and or connection he has with her and or hope he has, I think, for her future. I think that it's a hard thing to hear. And Thais doesn't quite understand, I feel like, why it's hard. She's like, I don't get it. Why? Like, it's not what I want. And Patrick, I think, comes from a point of being like, later on in this conversation, later on, he has a conversation. So in the moment, he tries to like smooth it over by being like, oh, it's fine, Matt, it's fine. And then later on a call, it's like, I didn't know that. Like, what's happening? She's like, I just don't want to tell him. And he's like, but it's a good thing that we're getting married. And if he doesn't know, like, I want to ask him, like, I want to literally ask for your hand in marriage. Like, that's a whole thing. Like, it's shitty that you wouldn't want to tell your parents. And like, I don't want to get married to someone who like doesn't want to tell your parents. And she like is like, I cannot tell you that my dad hates you. I don't know. Like, I actually do see both people's well, I think that her point is not a good point. I think she should be honest with her husband. Freudian slip. I should be honest with her dad. Like, because it makes no sense for you not to be honest with your dad about romantic relationships and say that he's going to be jealous of him. Nah, dads have to understand that daughters get married. That's what happens. Doesn't It's not healthy for dads not to know that. If she's using the word jealous to really just be like, he hates you, he thinks you're dumb, I don't know how you're going to say that. My dad doesn't trust you. Yeah, he doesn't trust you because of the doping things. Yeah. I mean, you can just, there's other things to say. But, again, like Thais just starts to make like a bunch of sounds. Thais's like sounds are like, oh, like I love it. So they have another fight where he's like, I don't want to get married to you if you don't want to tell your dad. I think that she freaks out because the next scene is them in the car and she like has her phone out and she's like, right here, God bless. And he's gonna take a right, very different from what's happening in Miona and Jibri. She is calling the shots. Ha ha. No, but like he didn't, I guess, ask where she's like, I'm gonna take you somewhere you like. He's like, great, Vegas. Is that Top Golf? Maybe he thinks he's going to Top Golf. Top Golf in Vegas. I haven't been. I want to go so bad. They opened one in Redondo Beach, but Top Golf is really just this place where you get drunk with your friends. You just like hit balls, like golf balls, like drive. You get to drunk and like you're on your own little like segment. You're on your own little box, just hitting balls into like the space. How fun. That's probably a place he would have loved. Also, probably a stripping place, that'll come back into how I said this. I'm just saying places in Vegas this man would enjoy. She brings him to like the chapel, a little chapel to get married, honey. Suddenly she's like, I want to get married here. It's romantic. It's glamorous. Oh, Vegas, so glamorous. It's where movie stars get married. Yeah, like, listen, Thais, my love, is from Brazil and she's very young. So, like, her idea of Vegas is not our idea, or maybe my idea of Vegas. And her idea of getting married at the chapel, what seems exciting, glamorous, when it is a shotgun wedding. It's like what you do to elope. In America, it's like, oh, you want to get married for $25 and you don't care about your family seeing you, because either they don't want you to get married or they don't support you, or you've been married like 4 times, or you're really, really drunk or high and making a really bad decision right now in Vegas that you should not be making, because that's, I guess, what happens in Vegas. Like, it stays in your life, but it happens in Vegas. Ha ha ha. Like Britney did. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people get married in Vegas and you shouldn't. Especially in that chapel. So now Patrick has been living in Las Vegas, and he's definitely hung out with many strippers who's begged him to get married in those chapels before. So he's like, I will not get married with you here, and you deserve better. Now, in this moment, I agree with Patrick. She does. She doesn't know that. And I will say, and this is my opinion, that is my opinion, that I think that I know it is my opinion that I know that she deserves better. And she doesn't know that because she doesn't know really Vegas as much as she thinks she does. And I'm bringing this up because I want us to have a moment where we're like, something that we think is so necessary or something that is so cool or something that is so great isn't. And sometimes people are saving us from the thing that we think we want so much by knowing it's real shitty, not for us. We actually deserve better. I don't know, in that moment, like, that hit me. I was like, this girl thinks that this is it. She's probably so sad that he doesn't want to get married in this like chapel, because in her mind it's all what, like, great and like great, and it's not. It's depressing. It's like dime a dozen depressing marriages get married there and then annulled hours later. Having said that, of course, if you got married at a chapel, it can totally be a great thing. It could totally be a great thing. It's kitschy, like you're in Vegas, you want to do a drive-through chapel. Maybe Elvis marries you. Maybe you're young, you don't care. Like, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing if that's what you want. But I think that what I'm trying to say is I don't think that she understands what it is. I also think she's doing it because she's scared about the dad conversation she had with Patrick, and she thinks that maybe Patrick won't get married to her now or whatever. She thinks that, I don't know. Patrick keeps saying that the fact that she hasn't told her dad makes him feel like maybe she's just in this for a free vacation. Um, I don't know. I will say that, nothing is, everything is shades of gray. Nothing is black and white. No one's evil. No one's purely good. In these moments, this episode made me feel like I saw some of the like goodness in Patrick, which is someone who wants to do things, or it seems like he wants to do things well. It seems like he has maybe like gone through some things and has come out of it feeling better about himself and thusly wants to do things right and or has a certain amount of integrity to him. Now, we all have a moral code, we all like live by it, and that's, different for all of us. But in these moments of him wanting like to ask for the dad's hand and like wanting not to get married in the chapel, it makes me feel like he wants a loving, lasting relationship with Thais. Now, yes, he has a lot of trauma, and yes, he is scared about the money thing. It's like having to share finances and being open about that stuff. Like it seems like he's open to the possibility of sharing a life, and it's hard for him to do that. But he is cognizant that he has some opening up to do. So all of that, not it's one thing if you are with someone who is so dismissive and so avoidant that there is no penetrating. That's not even worth it. Like won't if you have someone in your life that you love that is so dismissive and avoidant, is their style or their trauma, or they are not open to you, there's nothing you can really do except take care of yourself, which probably means leave them. But Patrick, in that last convo about the money, he, even though he did do some asinine things like try and be like, well, take the money. He later on, like, I think in his mind, in his soul, in his eyes, like knew he wasn't being husbandly, if that's his end goal, which in this episode truly feels like he wants his end goal to be a husband in a relationship with a woman that he wants to be married to for a long time. He wants her dad to respect him and the union that they're bringing, and he wants the wedding to be at a place that he feels is respectable. Because it's his second wedding. Jojo baby. I'm late. I'm sorry to drag you back, but why don't M's parents think they should have taught Kobe about wait. Why don't M's parents think they should have taught Kobe about money in America instead of calling him dumb? You mean why doesn't they? I guess Jojo baby, like, why didn't they teach Emily? Think that she should have taught Kobe about money in America. Oh, I see what you're saying. Why didn't Emily's parents think that she should have told Kobe before coming, like, Kobe, just so you know, you'll be coming to America. You're going to need to bring money. And he's like, okay, girl, like, Emily, it's so right now I have 4,000. And she should have been like, oh, Kobe, 4,000? Great that you've done that. Just so you know, that's like 2 months here. Like, why didn't she give him the wherewithal to know before he came that 4,000 would be like 2 months and not a year's living? I feel you. But I think that that's like a minute point of like, why didn't Emily's parents think that they should have taught Emily, taught her how to live, taught her how to do anything? I don't think for some reason, Emily's parents have missed a bunch of balls. A lot of things have been dropped in their courts, honey. I don't have to tell you about that. Yeah, like, he can only earn so much. Yeah, it's like, we don't know what he does besides the underwear modeling. Oh yeah, I guess he said civil engineering, which he like. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just think that Emily. probably is in her own world so much that she was with her baby and then she would just be like, "Oh, Kobe's calling me." I also don't think that Emily thinks about money. Emily doesn't think about money. She doesn't think about money. When she has money, she spends it. And when she doesn't have it, she asks her parents for it. And then she has money. And then she spends it. And then she gets more money from whatever and she spends it. I mean, it's crazy that it's crazy that she has 3 rings and a brand new mattress and a wedding. I bet that wedding's going to be a beach wedding. I'm just kidding. Uh, oh, my loves, can you believe it? Except her brother just graduated summa cum laude. Really? God, I don't know. Yeah, I agree, Chris. Her parents support her so much they made a monster. I know it. Having said that, I want you all to know that like I can speak from experience. I'm not someone who like doesn't get support by my dad. And I'm not someone who understands all the money that I've spent and how hard it is to make it. So I really want to know you guys know that I'm not on a pedestal. I really feel like I can learn from Emily, which is a lot of her like entitlement and as well as her like bad spending choices. I think I've also made bad spending choices in my life. Now, I don't have 3 rings and a wedding, but my dad has a brand new mattress and I have some new purses. So, while I was driving to get her Mexican pizza, but she's still listening. Emily has teen mom OG energy, but she's 30. Oh my God, Teresa, that is on the nose. That is hitting the nail on the exact head, the target of the head of that nail. Yeah, she absolutely does. She has like Amber Portwood energy, kind of, right? A little bit. Okay, it has been so long since I've seen any teen OG. I don't even know them. There's that one red-haired girl. There's Farrah Abraham, and there's Amber, the one Amber that I just said. I don't have any kids. Hey, Dad, you going to bed? Want to come say hi? I don't have kids, but I have a dad. I was in LA, so I've been spending time in Orange County. Just for some reason, this is where my ring light is. So just so you guys know, it isn't like I'm always in this house. It's just that this is where my ring light right now is in my life. Okay, so yeah, I feel for Patrick in this time. I feel like he's making the choices that are like the better choices, which he wants to do things in his mind the good and proper way. And I think that it's not that he is making her do something by telling her parents. It's totally, to me, a valid point to be like, if my fiance told me out of the blue that he had not told his parents that he was getting married, I would be very suspect. I'd be like, why? You don't think they like me? You're gonna get mad? They're gonna get mad that you're marrying me? In my mind, I'd be like, no offense. Your parents should be thanking their lucky stars that you are marrying me. So it makes no sense in my mind why you wouldn't want to tell your parents. You should be telling your parents that you are marrying me after the night that you meet me. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. If a man that I'm going to marry tells me that he has not told his parents that he's going to marry me and he is thusly somehow shamed or embarrassed or doesn't want to, I am not marrying him. I am running. And also being like, how did I not know that I was engaged to someone who had not told his parents? But in this case situation, obviously Patrick It's because they live in different countries and blah 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 blah. But yeah, like Patrick has even spent time with his parents, with Thais's dad. Anyway, uh, yeah, it's gonna make her parents think worse of Patrick if they haven't told before. I'm surprised that like she's not privy to that. And yeah, Jojo baby. Everyone agrees. Yeah, that was such a great point, Teresa. My dad won't come in. It's only rare. He knows how to keep him mysterious and wanting more. Okay, so I cannot believe it that I still have to talk about Bilal and Shai. This is the wait, have I talked about Bilal and Shai? No, I haven't. This is wait, no, I haven't. This is the longest live I have ever done for a 90-day, specifically because I'm still not done talking about them. It isn't like I stopped talking about the episode an hour ago and I'm still talking. It's like I cannot believe that I have one more stupid couple to go. I'm like sitting here being like, I haven't talked about them. Did I start with them? Otherworldly. But here we are. So, Bilal and Shai. I have to blow my nose, so give me a second. I'm going to make it pretty for you by not. Sorry, sometimes I get a little allergies. Talking for 2 hours and 20 minutes. Blame it on the mic. It's okay. I grabbed wine and Smart Pop to keep going. Oh my God. I wish I had it. Oh, is it red wine? Is it white wine? Smart Pop is such a yummy umami flavor, like that white cheddar. God, Smart Pop does it right. About like the cheddar flavored popcorn. Smart Pop is like a great one. I don't think there's anything better. It's like also for some reason, this is what happens with Smart Pop. The flavor of the cheddar is very intense and the popcorn itself is soft. Smart Pop is soft popcorn in a way that Pirate's Booty is like a whole different product, right? It is, but I don't know why the kernels are so pillowy soft and blathered in that flavor. Smart Pop is where it's at. In like Smart Pop with like so many different options. Okay. An ice vine, which is a sweet wine where the wine is pressed from iced cold grapes, frozen grapes. It's really yummy with something salty like that, which, by the way, Wah got for me ice vine when she went to Canada. True story. Okay. Foom Blanc. Yeah. Like the white, yeah, you could do Foom Blanc, which of course, yeah, like you could do like a really crisp Riesling or something like that, which might stand up to that like salty umami. God, I want that so bad. That sounds so good. Okay. Please don't cut it short. Everything you are saying needs to be said. Like we said, the Baptist Church, take your time, honey. Okay, well, side note is, did anyone else see Elvis? Again, like I talk about, there's this part of Elvis where, honey, like, a young Elvis, like, gets, like, pulled into, like, a revival. Oh, thank God. A revival style worship service. Is that the word I want to say? Yeah, revival. Okay, my loves. Anyway, in this episode, if anyone's seen Elvis, which by the way, God bless, Elvis is an interesting movie. If you like Elvis, you should see it. There are some questionable points. It is hitting you over the head that they really want you guys and us to know that Elvis was heavily, obviously, we knew this, heavily influenced by like the sound of like the Black South at that time, because he was growing up in Memphis. And so we have the scene, honey, where he's like in a gospel thing and he's like, but the whole thing, of course, well, you know, not the whole thing. A lot of people talk about the fact that Elvis was like named the king of rock and roll, but he was just basically doing black people music. And just like when there's, you know, but and so this movie wants to be like, well, Elvis, yes, did that, but also he was like cognizant that he, you know, enjoyed, you know, that music and would be like, oh, it's not me. It's like, you know, like Fats Domino and stuff like that. There are parts of that. And those kind of parts are a little bit hit over the head. And you also are going to be like, yeah, but I, you know, like really, really like that. And also, are we going to talk about the fact that Elvis, like, basically, you know, hit up like a prepubescent Priscilla, like under like 15 or 15, and like married her or something crazy, and then like to put a bunch of makeup on her to make her seem like she was older than she was, but she was not, and you were 20s. Anyway, okay. Having said that, I love me some Baz Luhrmann. I mean, because I like watched Romeo and Juliet like 1 billion times. You guys know this about me. Like, love me some Baz Luhrmann. Like, I used to like put the Our Lady of Guadalupe candles all over my room and just like reenact the funeral scene and do that like Claire Danes, like same cry. You know, she cries like this. If you know the scene when Romeo dies in her arms, Claire Danes cries, and it sounds just like this. And that's it. That Claire Danes cry, honey, stayed with me so long. Okay, so Strictly Ballroom is also great. Yes. That was the OG. I think Strictly Ballroom is actually, I think his movies, okay. I think his movies go down in order. I think, okay, I actually do love Romeo and Juliet. So, but I think that if you weren't a 90s teen who like was perfectly in tune with that, I can see as an adult that maybe Strictly Ballroom was even a better movie than Romeo and Juliet. But Elvis feels a little like it's hard to tell a real person's story to me in this fever dream, opulent, decadent kind of like cinematic tone, because the moments that have to feel real feel sometimes a little contrived. Having said that, I still loved it. And it's probably problematic, but what's not nowadays? What's not? Everything can kind of be. Ugh, that was the worst version of Romeo and Juliet. Now, here's the thing. I also love the Zeffirelli version. Like, I love Olivia Hussey and Leonard Whiting. Leonard Whiting was so handsome. Olivia Hussey made me think that I was supposed to have gray eyes, and I was robbed of them. But no, I love that Romeo and Juliet too. I just loved it. I can't help it. I just was like too much of a theater arts nerd, you know. I just like loved theater so much. It was like all that music and stuff. No, it was made for me. So he stole black songs, black dancers, singers without giving credit our money. Yeah, so like that's what they don't talk about. Okay, so they talk about it. It's like this is okay. They kind of do, but I knew that they don't. Like, so yes, they show him watching people dance, like, and then doing moves, and yes, he was simulated. No, he not simulated. He stole the culture. He's a culture vulture. It's like doing blackfishing, kind of. Except he didn't do it in blackface. But we think of those things now. It's like, but listen, I guess sometimes, but it's like, you know, it's like I guess someone like Jack Harlow, right? Who is coming up right now. I guess Jack Harlow is a thing in the hip hop world. People love him, love everyone Jack Harlow, right? And Jack Harlow is like a white person, and Jack Harlow is signed to a black label or black predominantly executive label, which is great. And because he's doing music that is hip hop music, but I guess it somewhat seems that he has an appreciation and awareness. And I mean, I don't know a lot about Jack Harlow, so hopefully I'm not wrong, but I'm just trying to make it a point where it seems like maybe there's something for someone who appreciates a style of music and then at a given turn gives credit where credit is due, and or makes direct deposits of money into pockets that align with the culture. And yeah, I don't think Elvis did that. but I don't know what was available to Elvis. This whole movie also brings into account Tom Hanks' character that no one should ever to see again. This like Colonel, German Dutch Colonel. Honey, I can't even tell you what a crazy. I mean, what a crazy character. And I think that at the end of the day, Baz should have just cast someone that looked a little more like who he wanted to have for that, instead of having like Tom Hanks and bananas fat suit and makeup. Um, Smart Pop is like the cheesies of the popcorn world. I know, absolutely. Mickey, are you on? Mickey, you're watching this live a little late. I love you so much. Okay, so Bilal and Shai. We're coming on hot of the conversation we're about the prenup, and she has been even though he brought up that he might want a prenup, and that moment when he talked about it earlier when he was in Trinidad and Tobago, she was like, oh, prenups aren't for me. And then she thought that that was going to be him like, oh, prenups aren't for her. Cool, I won't get one. And he thought, not yet. Or if you're going to marry me, there's going to be one. And then they just didn't talk about it until they decided to go up in the sky. And she was real scared. And so he was like, oh, you're real scared? You know what's also really scary? Divorce and being left penniless. Here, we're going to have a prenup. My lawyer called. And she was taken aback, also taken on top of the world, and was really upset for both those places, being brought to both those places. So she goes back to the sister's house, and I forgot they were at the sister's house. But then when we see her in the bathroom, and she like uses the sister's like bathroom, and they have like one of those like hardwares, the hardware of the sister's house made me realize that we're not at Bilal's house. Now I'm going to tell you this right now. Bilal, you are a lovely person who bought a beautiful home, who obviously got an interior decorator, and your sister is a fashion designer. And so I think, since your girl can, I'm going to put on the agenda for both of you to get that bathroom revamped. Unless you're renting, because that sink has the exact same faucet handles that my apartment does in West Hollywood. It's because I rent. Those are rental sinks, rental faucets. Change your hardware. It'll just, I mean, can you imagine? It'll do the wealth of good. Anyway, also, if you're a stylist and you're gonna like custom make things, come on. Okay, so he comes down to have a conversation with his sister and tell her all that happened. And she is like very upset. She doesn't want to talk to him. She washes her hands and goes in. I'm sure she stretches a little bit. And she like calls like a FaceTime, group FaceTime of all of her girls, honey. Her birdies is what she calls them. It's like all her women. It's like her sisters, maybe an aunt. I'm not quite sure. And it's like summer nights, you know, like Greece, when they had a situation and then they go talk to their respective people, and it's like a cut back and forth, like summer days, and it's like the boys and the girls, you know. Anyway, kind of like that, except completely different. But Lau talks to his sister. He's like, yeah, you know, yeah, I took her on this romantic thing, and then, you know, I told her about the prenup, and even the sister was like, well, it was dumb that you did that. It was real dumb. He's like, yeah, I know, it was dumb. And then it's like, you know, it's like the sister actually takes more of her side than I think that she's going to. She's kind of like, I get that it's a bad thing to bring up, and I get that, you know, it's not anything anyone wants to talk about, and culturally they don't do that stuff there, and you know, I get all that. The one thing that I just feel like, you know, the other thing is he has kids. He has kids. So to me, it makes sense that he has to have a prenup because he has kids. But at the same time, he also keeps saying, you know, marriage is also like a business. And there's also this part of him that feels like there's something contractual about the business of the relationship, what he is going to provide, what is like for the Quran, and it's also for her, you know, like she starts to do some thinking as well, like what provisions this makes for her, because she has given up her whole life including her business as a yoga instructor, and she had her yoga studio, to come here. And she, just like Miona, has only asked for one thing. Miona wants a beach wedding. She wants kids. What does she want? Kids. She wants kids. She wants people in this world to call her mother, Uma. She doesn't really care if it's Bilal's kids, the ones that he already has, but at some point, Bilal's seeds will be calling her Uma, the ones that he has with Shy. You know what I'm saying? It's an awkward way I said it. She wants to be a mom, so she's like, all right, maybe I can just like, if he wants to do this whole like contractual business thing, then I'm going to make my voice heard. I want kids, and I want there to be financial protection for me because I gave up a whole bunch of shit to be here. So yeah, they end up having a conversation together while they're packing. Now they're packing those Louis Vuittons, honey. And so it's like he has one set of luggage and they're both using like two pieces from the set. I can't tell if they're just like they packed. Okay, let me ask. This is a great question. This is how sad I am. Are you ready for this? I've gone on vacations with like people I've been dating before, but I've always packed separately. When you're married, I can't even imagine this. You guys, and so I need you to answer me. When you're married or if you're in a long-term relationship and you travel with that person, do you just pack all together? Like all your clothes in the clothes rolly, maybe your shoes in the shoes rolly together, and you just, that's what it is. I cannot imagine a world. First of all, no. I can only get like one carry on for me, like in the most strictest circumstances when I'm only going to be somewhere for 29 hours and I still have my carry on that's a rolly and this bag that's like goes on top. That is like my purse that we both know is not a purse. Okay. There is not a chance in hell that no one's stuff is going to fit in that bag. And so to me, it's like they're packing together. It's so crazy. But she's upset, honey. She's still upset about this like prenup. So she's like putting her clothes, shoes in, and she's like upset and she's like closing the Louis Vuitton, which is either real or not real. And you can do your own ideas of that. But he's like, please be careful with the luggage. Oh, I need you to just very gently pull on the zipper. Now, honey, she can't get anything right. She gets water all over the floor. She's putting pins in the cushions, honey. She's not gentle with the zippers. I mean, one thing that is not a good moment for her is to be told what to do again. So I think she takes all this and she's like, okay, well, A, when I get married, I'll be having my own Louis Vuitton luggage set and I'm going to get the brown monogram. A, B, I'm putting that in the prenup, which I will be going over with your lawyer. And I will be adding some things. Like we having kids and by the time I'm 40. I'm happy for her. If that's what she wants. I want her to stand up for herself. And she has been able to stand up for herself. She has told him that she hates when he lectures her and he's very controlling and he's like the OCD and living with him is a nightmare. Like she said all that. What the strange situation is, why are they together? There are moments where he's like, what I will do for love. But I'm like, what do you mean? It feels like you both are playing at this. It kind of feels like they both have never, ever, ever been in love, have wanted to be in love their whole life. And they both have found each other. And they're like, you look like who I should be in love with. So I guess I'll just say it. But us, the humans watching it, we feel none of it. We don't feel it. Whether we're not privy to the warm moments they have or whether they're both very modest in such a way so we don't see their sexual chem, I mean, I cannot tell you the answer. But it is baffling that they want to spend any time together. Other than the fact that he's like, I want to be married. I want to be in love. I want a woman to go to Juma with me. And I want her to be Muslim. And she's like, I want to get married and I want to have kids. And he is Muslim. And I think that he has money. I'm not quite sure. Maybe. It feels arranged by them. It feels like they were in an arranged marriage by them, and the entire time rebelling against their traditional parents that are making them be in an arranged marriage, which is them. You know what I'm saying? It feels so weird. If she didn't want a baby, she would seem like a gold digger because he offers her nothing but a lifestyle. Mickey, I agree. I don't see why she would want to be with him. She doesn't like him. He doesn't make her feel good. I don't see what the attraction is, like physically or emotionally or psychologically. The only thing that she says positive about him is that he has nice things. But like, I don't even think that she cares that he's Muslim. She doesn't seem super religious. Maybe she is, and like, I don't know. They just definitely seem like not a couple that should be tying down our legals, tying down our lawyers that are gonna like have to come to their defense when they get divorced. Just it feels like, well, I don't know. It feels arranged. It feels like people who want a certain something and are trying to jam the square pegs into the pegs holes, which kind of also feels like what's happening with Yvette and Muhammad, but on a different scale, where it's even more obvious they're not supposed to be together. Are they sharing a bathroom and having sex? He's Muslim, but he dabbles in and out of the rules. But they had that. I think they had. Someone told me. I forgot this before, but they had some sort of ceremony, right, where it was okay for them to do that. When does he see the kids? Is it every second weekend? Where are they? Yeah, no, they're definitely living 100% of the time. I feel like, yeah, definitely primarily with the mom, his ex-wife, and that dad. I feel like they like the mom's, their stepdad a lot. That's my natural inclination. I bet they really enjoy the dad. They get to call him by the first name. He's probably not as controlling, you know? They seem totally normal. So I feel like it's the mom. She's smarter than him. It frustrates him. She low-key wins every argument. Yeah, he's if they got on the same page, okay. If they could get on the same page, I think they have the potential to be a power couple. Absolutely. Because she wants, I think, to be a wife and to be treated well and to like have a good life. And she wants, obviously, to be a mom. We've talked about that. He wants a wife. Now, he wants a mom to his kids. He already has kids. He wants a mom to those kids. Mom is a big word because they have a mom, but he wants someone who's going to like be warm and like know that he has kids and cook and all that stuff. Like, that's what he wants. And she'll do that. And they'll go to Juma together. Like, if they were on the same page, they'd be like a little Juma power couple. Can you imagine? We saw what happens at that Juma. Nothing really. They're hot. They can come in, rule the whole scene, honey. Rule the whole scene. Have all the best parties. Be like, they can stunt on Instagram together, just like looking hot. She has great makeup. Traveling. Have that luggage together. Get her own set, like I said. They really don't feel like they like each other at all. Yeah, like they had a blessing so they could do that. It's halal. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, they are married by Islamic standards. Yes, yes, yes. Maybe that's like, okay, they are married already by Islamic standards. So why are we having a prenup? Oh, it's because like they're not married in the eyes of the law. But couldn't she just it? But and this is a postnup. I don't understand. I don't know. The okay, you can have sex ceremony. That's all it was for him, anyways. The relationship's only about Bilal's happiness. You know, it's interesting. It's like, you know how we were talking and we were okay. You know how Kobe, like I said, gave Emily what she wanted, and it was like nothing that he wanted, right? But we could see that the act of being able to give her what she wanted made him incredibly happy. I don't know if Bilal, even though he registers as the type that should be like that, I think that I don't know if he would give her what she wants to make her happy. He's going to give them things that are going to make him happy. I don't see a world in which he would ever do something incredibly selfless for her to make her happy that has nothing to do with him. Something that only she wants. Finish the app and you're still here. Yay. You guys, that's so funny. That's absolutely true, Melody. Melody came on this app. Sorry. Melody came on this live when I started 2 hours and 45 minutes ago and was like, "Oh, you're live, but I haven't finished the episode yet." And we were like, "Oh, like so sad." And then years and years later, can you imagine coming back on YouTube and seeing that I'm still talking? He made her a yoga room, the only thing that I saw. Oh, I forgot about that. Oh yeah, but he didn't. Okay. God, he had an extra room in his house, honey. He just put a yoga mat down. I mean, did he make her a whole room? He didn't build it. Whatever, you can just get a yoga mat. I mean, it's like I converted this room into like my my Peloton speaking room with like my yoga mats right down there. That's not huge. I don't know. Maybe you're right. All right. Yeah, I guess we're going. I forgot about the yoga room. It's just, but I mean, she made it seem like such a big deal. It's like, what did he really do? Say, when you live here, you can do yoga, the thing that you love doing in this room? Okay, great. No, thank you. Yeah, it's my work. Yeah, we all do work in a room. That's, I just don't think it's that big of a deal. Did Bilal make her yoga room or did he pay someone to do it? I mean, it's not, I mean, he didn't build a room that wasn't there, right? He just like had an extra bedroom and just like doesn't, the kids aren't there that much. How big's a big ass house? He probably has extra rooms. He probably like moved, like a pre-core he wasn't using in that room for a long time and just like was like, okay, well, I'll put the pre-core in the closet, honey. And yeah, like it's a yoga studio. For a yoga studio, all you need is a yoga mat and some blocks and maybe some boosters, maybe like some flameless LED candles, and like maybe like one of those like things you put in a corner. It's like the yarn potted plant holder. It's very Tulum also. I feel like it's like 1, 2, 3. You get some of those, you put in the holder, it has like the spider plants, it hangs out. I mean, that'd be like frosting. I don't even think our cherry on a cupcake, honey. I mean, listen, if you want to go all full out. I mean, do you think that he got her like sound bowls? Pregnancy yoga classes would be a great idea. Does he even have pictures of family in that house? No, because the house is a staged house. I mean, like that house looks like that is a every Sunday from 10 to 2, honey, go to the open house and see what they've done, like it's Wa made it to Taco Bell, honey, and she ordered. She ordered. Oh, honey, she's having a number two. Oh, yeah. 2 tacos. Oh, yeah. With cinnamon twists on the side. Oh, yeah. That's what Wa's having. I think the yoga room is a big deal. Oh, God. I think the house is an Airbnb. Oh, right. Yeah, that's what I mean. All this season is the only thing. She needs to go back to Trinidad. I think, well, I mean, listen, I don't know. Chalupa's for everybody. Oh, God, I love a chalupa. Well, so anyways, what happens then? So yeah, she basically is like, I'm gonna talk to your lawyer and I'm gonna put in what I want, and that's what's happening. I'm talking, and we're going to be getting what we both want, I guess. And yes, don't tell me how to zipper something. Also, if you spent so much money for luggage, then it's not worth shit if it can't handle a good zip. It's luggage. Also, how are you throwing that around a plane? Like, is that only you have to only be using carry-on pieces, honey? I don't believe that you're gonna let like some United baggage handler throw that piece into the cabin. I hate it. Yeah, well, now I'm finally done. I really did talk about all the couples. Just, one couple every hour. I don't want to talk about Taco Bell. I want it so bad. I'm so mad at myself why I keep talking about it. She is racing against her biological clock. It's messing with her mind. Who's not, Mickey? I'm kidding. No. I'm playing. Not all of us. A lot of women are just so happy not to have kids, and I'm just like so happy for them. I'm happy for like the Chelsea Handlers of the world and like the Sarah Silvermans of the world who are just like, I am so good. I'm fine. I'm just gonna enjoy my life and all my money, honey. I am not at anyone's clock. I only get better with time, like wine, like Fun Blanc. Well, it depends what kind of Fun Blanc. I love you guys so much. Oh, baby booze. We did it. I really do want to end this live, mostly because I'm starving now. I just keep talking about food. But we're gonna take our breaths and we're gonna talk about all our things. Also, definitely if you're in the Orange County area, I really, really want to see people I love, people who know me, faces. I would love to have people come to the Irvine Improv Wednesday, July 13th for the KKC podcast show. Juan and I got to do a meetup when we went to London years and years ago, and I got to meet people when I did the stand up comedy night with David and those David and Annie, and oh my god, that night, honey, a billion years ago. And besides then, I just like I have never gotten to really like put out feelers to have people come meet up. So if you are in Orange County and can come to the Irvine Improv Wednesday, July 13th, I will be there and I will be talking and on stage and able to meet and drink and be excited to talk about all the fun things with Kate Casey, who has a podcast called Reality Life with Kate Casey. I would love to see you. So I'm going to put out links. You see that Wa will be there too. It's the Irvine Improv at 7:13. It's going to be so much fun. So not even just me, you'll get me and Wa and Kate Casey, all of us, every one of us. So I know I'm like one of the like blessings of being able to live stream is just get to like talk to people over the world. And I cannot believe that I have people that listen to me not in Irvine. Oh my God. I'm like so excited to like that I talk about my Canadian peeps because I love you so much, and Mickey, and thank you so much. And I have Amsterdam, who I think is on the room, but she's in Amsterdam, and people are everywhere all the time, and I'm just like so thankful. But happen to be my Southern California peeps. This one's for you, and I would love to see you. Other than that, of course, you can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I am at Chris L. Farah. On my Instagram now, my nephew had a baseball game. This is actually kind of funny. Oh, I should have had wow. I went on my phone with me. I wish I could bring up. I have a video of the intro that my cousin made her dad say of me. It's going to ruin my thing if I do it now. I should have brought it up. It was so funny. So I have a bunch of funny videos on there. Oh, Beth, sorry. Beth's there from Vienna. Beth, I forget that you're in Vienna. My God. That's awesome. Like this is so cool. I'll never get over the fact that I get to just like talk to a bunch of people at all times. So anyway, Chris Alfaro, Twitter and Instagram. You can Venmo me, but thank you so much for all the super chats tonight. You're so generous with your time and engagement. Your comments here are 3 hours as well as that. I really, really appreciate it. And again, thank you to everyone who likes my eyebrows. I like them too. Unfortunately, I can't always have them because I feel like you can't just keep straight primming your eyebrows. You'll just make them fall out. Yeah. Come back. No, I'm just kidding. And other than that, yeah, we're going to take a deep breath. We are going to expel some of the things that are weighing on our hearts and souls right now. We are going to make commitments to ourselves that we live in the present and we have to choose what to react to. We have to take care of our energy. At the same time, there is a lot happening right now, right? The Supreme Court is just making things happen left and right. And I personally don't know. I don't talk. I've talked about politics before, but like it's been so divisive. I really truly try not to talk about it as much as as much as I really try not to talk about it at all. But I always want to talk about it always. It's interesting because I was raised Catholic, and I have had the privilege of never having to make any sort of like choice on an abortion or like yeah, I've just never been pregnant. I can't, God bless, just never happened for me in that situation. And I don't understand being raised Catholic why we're making decisions of this whole country based upon religion. And the other half of people are like, oh, but all they're saying is that abortion isn't in the Constitution and therefore shouldn't like blah blah blue. But that doesn't make sense to me because what we're saying is we have the option and you can do what you want. And that to me makes sense. People should have the option. That makes no sense to me. And if you say like it's a religious conviction of yours, I won't stand in the way of you not doing that. My friend Morgan, I don't know. Morgan Murphy is like her joke that's like going over the internet right now is, look, I get it. Abortions aren't for everyone. They're like kids that way. Which is true. I get if you're religious is that you don't want to have do what you want, but I mean like there are people who don't believe that and people who want to have sex and sometimes when you have sex things happen. And you just got to like not make people live by your rules. Oh, crazy. Anyway, okay. So other than that, that's very hard to deal with. I think that's been a very hard thing to deal with as a woman and feels crazy. And so you do what you can do. Find what you can do to get through those moments. And that could be donating, or that can be talking about it on social media, or that could be sharing your story, or that could be a billion things. And then also do what you can do for yourself, which is turn off social media or breathe or bring yourself back to the present moment. Or if you feel your heart racing or you feel yourself getting tight in your chest, honestly, sometimes the best thing you can do is just hand over your heart and remind yourself that in this moment you are safe. I'm not saying that you should feel safe, that women should feel safe all the time, but in this moment, you, me, I'm safe. I'm safe in this very present moment. It's 10 o'clock exactly. You know, and that feeling of that comfort and security will give me the energy to fight the good fight tomorrow. It's that balance of being able to protect yourself as well as standing up for what you believe and doing what speaks to you that I think is the only advice I could give right now. Okay, so that's all I have to say about that. Well, no, it's not, but that's what I'll say about that certain subject. But just say, having said that, when I let go of this breath with you, I invite you to feel whatever you want. And I invite you to let go of what isn't serving you in the moment. And the letting go of that stress, which isn't really helping and not necessary, will give you the peace and relief in order to save your energy for when you do fight the fight. Okay, so let's blow it all out and breathe in. And breathe out. People don't know all the work that people do, and you don't see the work behind the scenes. So I think that it's important to take care of yourselves and one another because you don't know the fights that people are fighting. And sometimes you don't even know the fight that's happening within you. That could mean the fight that your nervous system is having right now, the stress that you may not be feeling consciously, but you're feeling subconsciously, or the fight happening with your immune system. There is so many things your body's doing that you don't know, that you're not privy to. So as you might be thinking that you're putting your body through a lot of stress, your body is going through unknown stress as well. So to be kind to yourself is the same as to be kind to someone else whose challenges and whose work you don't know. Being kind to yourself, taking care of yourself and one another, standing up for what you believe. I'll tell you that on Instagram it became kind of intense, and so I haven't really posted about this stuff politically on Instagram as much. Mostly because I don't want people to directly message me and tell me their thoughts. If you follow me on Instagram, let's just say you're not part of my YouTube. And let's say you only follow me on Instagram. Maybe you could think, "Oh, Chris doesn't care about this kind of stuff," or Chris isn't being vocal or whatever. You don't know, if you're not on YouTube, that right now I'm talking to 100 people about it. You never know what people are doing or not doing. You got to pick the times in which you can. This feels safer for me for some reason than Instagram. And I even know that I might put this up and I might even get comments. I'm just hoping that anyone who stood for 3 hours with me and who's made it through 3 hours, if they comment, it won't be a really harsh one, that maybe it'll be one that is thoughtful. Okay, so that's what I mean when I say what I say at the end of every live. Making art again is just the way in which you can like heal yourself from everything else that happens and others. It is the remedy. Work and art is the remedy, especially because work with love becomes art, I think. So, kind of everything meshes together and gives the soul at the end of the day what the soul needs, which is love, warmth, stability, approval, validation. That's what art and work and love does, right? It's a missing piece, I think, for like each and every one of us. I hope that we get through this like as I hope that we kind of shake this off and we kind of look back on some sort of weird moment that gets worse before it gets better. Anyway, other than that, we breathe together. We've taken care of each other. We've taken care of ourselves. We've stood up for what we believed and we've made art. And we're going to continue to do so. And we're going to do so with the rest of our lives, my loves. That's all it is. That's all it is. All right. I love you guys. I'm so thankful and appreciative for your time and energy. 3 hours tonight. Thank you again. And by the way, did anyone notice that there were no trolls? Not a one. Not a one. All right, loves. Enjoy all of your chalupas, all of your midnight snacks, wherever you're eating your chalupa. Enjoy it. That's all I have to say. I've already said it, but take care of yourselves and one another. Stand up for what you believe and make art. I love you, baby boos. Have a good one. Bye.